this afternoon from Tempe Diablo Stadium. The Angels continue their homestand as they take on the National League's Cincinnati Reds. We take you inside Tempe Diablo Stadium, where the Angels have been playing some pretty good baseball. Halos have won 3 straight. They've scored 24 runs in those 3 victories. Tim Salmon is alongside here today. And Tim, I know you've been here at camp for a couple days. What are your thoughts so far as what you've seen?
Well, much like everybody else that you've been reading about, there's been so many new faces that have been in camp, starting from Billy Epler all the way to the defensive positioning in left field and the left side of the infield. A lot of new faces, but it's great to see guys like Buddy Black and Ron Renicky back in the Angel uniform.
All right, one of the new veterans for the Angels will see some time behind the plate. That's Giovanni Soto. He's played for, well, the Angels would be his 5th team, and he figures to be in the mix as far as the catching spot. We saw him hit a home run yesterday. He's had 2 already this spring. You had a chance to see him here yesterday.
I did. Very impressed. I mean, this is a guy that hasn't played regularly since 2011, but make no mistake, he can still do it behind the plate. He can still swing the bat, and I think that's a great asset for the Angels when you think about what they might have coming off the bench to replace Carlos Perez at times. You got a guy that has that wily veteran in him that can set up pitchers and knows how to handle certain parts of the zone and hit the long ball. He hit 273 with 6 homers last year for the White Sox leading up to August, and then his playing time diminished. But this is also a guy that has a very good arm that's still capable of throwing out runners like he did yesterday, threw 2 base runners out.
He sure did. And as far as Giovanni Soto, you see his numbers. He's a guy who is a former National League Rookie of the Year. Well, in the offseason, we didn't know what the Angels would do, Tim Salmon, as far as second base. As it turns out, they didn't do much of anything. Johnny Giavotella has that spot, and what have you thought about his spring so far?
Well, I've been really impressed the fact that, he's the guy they're really leaning on. I mean, this is a guy you got to root for. He's a spark plug, a lot of energy in the clubhouse, swings the bat very well. As you saw yesterday in the spring training game, he hit a home run, doing what he's capable of doing. That's his greatest asset, what he can do at the plate. Late inning clutch guy, but with that, you have to be able to play defense at second base, and that has been the big storyline going into this spring is can he be that guy defensively for you? He was rated last as second baseman in the American League last year, but he's been working with Ron Washington over the offseason. That was the big storyline. Has Ron helped him improve his game? We'll see. His lateral movement is the key. He's got to be able to move a little bit more, have a little bit more range, but as you saw yesterday, he had a nice play up the middle to Simmons and was able to, stab down that ball and get the force play.
All right, let's talk more defense. Whole new left side for the Angels. We saw something unusual yesterday. The Angels had a 4-man shift on the right side of the infield. Not a single defender on the left side when Mitch Moreland was batting with 2 strikes on him. Let's talk about the Angels' defense, an area a little bit of concern a year ago.
It was a concern, and as good as David Freese is, and he's a great guy, great solid player, but I think Escobar at third base is an upgrade defensively. He's also maybe a little bit of a upgrade offensively. I mean, that's kind of splitting hairs there. I mean, it depends on what you want. He's going to be able to hit in the top of the order for the Angels, but the left side with Simmons, I think that's the big key. That's the story around the major leagues, is arguably the best defensive shortstop in the game, maybe the best defensive player in the game. The Angels have him, and when you think about what they have up the middle with Trout and Simmons, you know that for the next, however many years, 5, 6, 7 years, you're going to be really strong with the middle, and I think that's a huge benefit for the Angels.
And in the outfield, the Angels certainly solid. They have the Gold Glover Cole Calhoun and right. Mike Trout, not a single error last year, although he did not win a Gold Glove. Let's take a quick look at the pitching matchup. A guy who right now doesn't figure to be with the Angels when the season starts. That is Nate Smith. He's a left-hander. He's from the Cincinnati area. He's going to take on the Reds today.
He is, and this is a big lefty that the Angels, they're number 3 prospect, but make no mistake, you can never have enough pitching, and with some of the injury issues we've had thus far in spring training with Jared Weaver and C.J. Wilson, you just never know how things are going to pan out, but Nate Smith is that lefty that's got, just an average to slightly above average fastball, great changeup. That's really his number 2 pitch, but he's got to work them all in the strike zone and be able to get ahead of these major league hitters.
Raisel Iglesias will get the start for the Cincinnati Reds. He's a right-hander. He's from Cuba. The Reds signed him a couple seasons ago to a big contract. He might remind you a little bit of El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, although a guy who throws a lot harder. So it's the Angels and the Cincinnati Reds today from Tempe. We'll have the lineups and the start of today's game right here on Fox Sports West. Tempe Diablo Stadium. Terry Smith along with Tim Salmon and our producer-engineer Darren Chan. Great to have you aboard with us for Monday afternoon baseball as the Angels continue their homestand here in Tempe, taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Time now for today's starting lineups, and first up for the visiting Reds, leading things off in center field will be Jose Peraza. Spent some time last year with the Dodgers. Batting out of the number 2 spot for the Reds will be their third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. Hitting third will be Joey Votto, the first baseman. Batting cleanup, the veteran second baseman, Brandon Phillips. Jay Bruce will follow in right field. He bats number 5. Adam Duvall will DH for Cincinnati. He bats number 6. Ivan De Jesus Jr. will play short and bat 7th. Yorman Rodriguez, who was in AAA a year ago, will be the left fielder, batting number 8, and doing the catching and batting 9th will be Tucker Bernhardt, who appeared in 81 games behind the plate a year ago for the Reds. Their starting pitcher is Raisel Iglesias. He is a right-hander. This will be his first appearance this spring. He was 3-7 a year ago with the Reds. Appeared in 18 games, had 16 starts, and a 4.15 ERA. He's a Cuban native who the Reds signed to a 7-year deal back in June of 2014. He's a young pitcher who is 26 years old, battled some shoulder problems last season, and that's why they've kind of taken it a little bit easy with him so far this spring. Today will be his first appearance here in the Cactus League. The Angels starting lineup, it's brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And for the Halos today, leading things off will be the shortstop, Cliff Pennington. Batting second and playing left field, Daniel Nava. And Drolton Simmons will DH and bat number 3. C.J. Cron at first base hits cleanup for the Angels. Behind the plate, batting number 5 is Carlos Perez. At second base, batting 6, Johnny Giavotella. And the bottom third of Mike Scioscia's lineup today in right field, batting number 7 will be Rafael Ortega. Jeffrey Marte at third base will hit 8th. And playing in center field for the Angels and batting number 9 will be Todd Cunningham. The starting pitcher for the Angels is a young man from Ohio who will face the Reds today, and he grew up not too far away from the Cincinnati area. Nate Smith will get the start for the Angels, 24-year-old lefty who we've seen in a couple of appearances for the Angels this spring. He's been in 2 games, 1 as a starting pitcher, and so far in just 2 1/3 innings, he has given up 8 hits and 7 earned runs, so a high ERA for Nate Smith, who pitched last year in AA and AAA, and overall in the Angels system a year ago had a record of 10 wins, 8 losses, and a 3.86 ERA. The Angels are taking the field, and Nate Smith, who's from Westchester, Ohio. It's kind of around Dayton and Cincinnati, almost in between. He will get the start for the Angels as he begins to loosen up. Kerwin Danley will be the home plate umpire today. Jerry Davis at first base. Trip Gibson at second base. And we also have Sean Barber at third. And those umpires on the bases will be rotating during the course of the ballgame. Danley behind the plate for all the action today. Tim Salmon joining us here today. Always good to see the former Angel here, and hopefully we'll have a fun game to broadcast back to Southern California.
Well, it's great to join you again, Terry. I always get to do this once or twice a spring, and it's been very nice to be back in this stadium. Like you said, with my schedule, I just can't get out here as much during the spring, but I'll be with you guys quite a bit during the season.
So tell Angel fans why you can't be with us as much as you would like.
Well, I'm coaching high school baseball, and as an assistant, I had a little bit more flexibility, but as the head coach, I just can't. I can't be away from the practices and the game as much as I'd like to be out here with you guys.
And I know you were talking some game strategy with Mike Scioscia before this game today.
Yeah, we were talking about backdoor picks and, you know, who's putting the signs on. Is it coming from the catcher? Is it coming from the bench? Things of that nature. And, oh, yeah, actually the wheel play on defense, bunt defense. So, I got to tell you, in the past, when I'd sit in the war room during spring training and listen to Scioscia and then break down all those things, that was very, very informative for me. I mean, now as a head coach, I'm using a lot of those same theories and teaching techniques with my own kids.
Absolutely. So we are just about ready for baseball. Boy, a lot of red on the field today. Angels red tops, white pants. the Cincinnati Reds, red tops and gray pants. Here's the first pitch today, and that's right in there for a called strike on Peraza. He's had a good spring, 8 for 20 with a home run. Spent some time last year with the Dodgers, came over to the Reds during the offseason, and that pitch evens up the count. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Just 7 games with the Dodgers a year ago for Peraza. He played AA and AAA most of last season, and he swings at that one and fouls it back. So the count jumps to 1-2.
Well, you know, a lot of these young players for the Reds we're going to be talking about today are guys that have come over recently in the trades. You talk about the Reds organization being one that's rebuilding. A lot of guys on the trade block lately.
Here's a ball that's going to pop into right field for a base hit. So a nice 2-strike opposite field single for Peraza. Didn't do too much with that one, and he goes the opposite way. Leadoff single, and Eugenio Suarez will be the next batter.
You know, talk a little bit about Nate Smith here today. That was a pretty good pitch he made right there. A little bit of a fastball inside. You got to credit the hitter right there. Tip your cap. He did a good job of keeping his hands inside, but that's what you want to see. You want to see location on those 2-strike pitches, and most of the time you're going to get that ball to get in on the hands and get the out.
So here's the delivery, and that's a little bit outside. Suarez, just 24 years old, was in 97 games for the Reds last year and did a good job. He had .280 batting average for them, 13 home runs. Also had 8 homers in the minors, and he's having a good spring for Cincinnati. The pitch, he pops this one on the right side. That ball is going to drop foul and out of the reach of Ortega, the Angels' right fielder. Well, you talked about the Reds, Tim, and a team certainly in transition, rebuilding or retooling, whatever you want to call it. And they got rid of some pretty big pieces during this offseason. Aroldis Chapman traded. Todd Frazier traded. They were trying to trade Jay Bruce. They never were able to quite move him. Here's a pickoff toss, but a bad one to first base. Looked like the runner was going to be caught in a rundown, but the throw by Smith went way past C.J. Cron into foul ground on the right side. So Peraza, who might have been picked off had the Angels executed better there, ends up at third base on the throwing error.
That's a classic case where you had him dead, and you feel for the pitcher right there, just trying to make a nice easy throw, and sometimes you got to let it go. You got to let it fire, to that first baseman there, and he just let it go and it sailed on him.
So they'll call it a stolen base, and then an error on the throw, enabling the base runner to get to third. Angels have brought the infield in a bit, and here's the 1-1, and Suarez cuts it that one and misses it. It's 1-2.
Well, these are those opportunities for a young pitcher like Nate Smith to really show Soch what he's made out of. How can he handle the adversity of a situation like this? How can he rebound, come back, and get the out?
There's one a little bit low, and the count 2-2. The last time we saw Nate Smith on the mound for the Angels, that was a ball game against the Dodgers. And in that game last Wednesday, he allowed 5 hits to the 6 batters he faced in 4 earned runs. He really struggled. Here's the 2-2. Tried to sneak that one inside, misses low, so it's a full count.
Well, Nate Smith has some good stuff, and he's shown that he can pitch his first couple years, and especially most recently in AA. He did really well in Arkansas. Just had some trouble in AAA Salt Lake, and once again, that has to do with maybe the kind of hitters they have there.
Here's a little shallow pop into right center field. A lot of people were chasing, but it drops in between Giavotella, Cunningham, and Ortega. That's a bloop RBI hit. Reds are on the scoreboard, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati.
Little bloop hit, got him out in front. Once again, 2 hits here, but they haven't been hit hard. He's made them go out of the zone and chase that pitch a little bit, and maybe that says a little bit about that deceptiveness, but to this point, I mean, he's making some pretty good pitches.
So Votto, who had a solid year last year for the Reds, only missed 4 games last season, will be the batter, and it's a lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch of ball to count 1 ball, no strikes. Joey Votto, the MVP in the National League in 2010, 4-time All-Star. He's also won a Gold Glove, .311 career hitter.
Hitting .438 this spring with 5 walks. Go figure.
And the pitch, he lifts that one in the air into left field. Let's see who's going to call for it. Making the grab out there is Nava. He was really battling the sun, but he puts that one away, and that'll be the first out. We saw some outfielders lose the ball yesterday here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. That sunshine causing some problems yesterday.
Terry, it's funny. I am out in the sun every day just north of this stadium in Scottsdale, and it felt hotter here. I don't know what it is. Watching the game with my team in the stands, I got a sunburn. I'm like, what the heck? I'm in the sun every day.
Yep.
Something about on the baseball field, it just seems to be a little bit brighter.
Here's Brandon Phillips now. As Smith throws the first, runner breaks, relay up to second, and waiting with the tag. Applying it over there is the Angels infielder. So it's going to be Pennington who gets the tag on. And Nate Smith, he's picked off a base runner. It's a second out. So
well, they're going
easy out.
They're going first move. No mistake about that. Those last two runners have gone first move on them out of the stretch. They're probably seeing if they can, stress that young pitcher on the mound. And that was a much better throw he made over there to first base.
Comes inside on Phillips there with 2 outs. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, with a little luck, Nate Smith, a little better execution, the Angels would have been out of this inning. Here's the next delivery, and that caught the outside corner. It's a called strike.
Talk about all the movement. Brandon Phillips is another name thrown in there quite a bit over the offseason, and he actually exercises no trade waiver clause, and decided he wanted to make sure he finished up in Cincinnati.
Fouls that one off on the right side. Phillips has been an all-star and a Gold Glover in the past. And a year ago for the Reds, a pretty good season. .294 average, drove in 70 runs. He takes that one for ball 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Terry, I think about, the major league mindset of why would you exercise a no-trade clause in your contract when the team's wanting to trade you when they're clearly going to be rebuilding. As a veteran, I think I would be open to that and just saying, okay, let me give you some direction then.
Right.
It's always the things off the field that weigh into it as well, family and maybe where you've settled down. I understand that part of it as well, but
payoff pitch on Phillips, and that one is fouled back out of play. So the count holding at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, a number of years ago, Brandon Phillips, he was a 30-30 player in the National League. That was 2007, 30 homers, 32 stolen bases. He cuts it down and fouls it off on the right side out of play.
That's pretty impressive for a second baseman.
Yeah. Yep.
Take that one, boy.
He's usually swinging the bat. A year ago, 588 at bats, 27 walks. So it's a full count again, and the payoff once again. He swings at that one and pops it in the air into right. It's holding up for Ortega. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. Reds do get a first inning run on a pair of hits. Also across the air in the inning on the pickoff throw by Nate Smith. We've completed a half inning. Reds have a 1-0 lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
If the
Angels down by a run as we go to the bottom of the first. Pennington, Nava, and Simmons against Iglesias, 26-year-old right-hander from Cuba. Pennington is a switch hitter, so he'll bat left against the right-hander. Cliff has gone 5 for 19 here in the Cactus League. And the first pitch from Iglesias, that's a shot up the middle, and that's a base hit. Low line drive single. And Daniel Nava will bat.
Wasting no time at the plate, jumping on that first heater. Not sure if that's something that he would normally do in the course of the season, being a leadoff hitter or not. Typically, you'd like your leadoff hitter to see a few pitches, but nonetheless, it worked for him in spring. He's trying to get a feel for things, just going up there, keeping it simple, looking for that heater.
So Nava, another switch hitter, will bat for the Angels. Suarez, the third baseman, is in on the grass. The pickoff toss to first, and boy, that was a fastball over there to Joey Votto. And back goes Pennington.
Yeah, you wonder how many opportunities a guy like Joey Votto has to catch a pickoff from a guy like this. I mean, probably hasn't seen him in a game, and as you know, between the bases, the game's a lot faster.
Here's the delivery. That's lined into right, coming over, diving, unable to make the catch is Jay Bruce. Ball hits off his glove. Pennington will move on to third, and the Angels have runners at the corners. Well, Jay Bruce gave it everything he could, tried to make a diving catch on that one. Got some glove on it, but was unable to hold on, and the Angels are threatening here. 2 on, runners at first and third for Simmons.
Very good base running by Cliff Pennington there. Reading that, he was almost down to second base. He knew that if he dove and he made the catch, he had plenty of time to get back, but he put himself in great position on that play to get to third base standing up.
So Simmons, who's the designated hitter for the Angels today, will be the batter. Pujols, Trout, Calhoun, Escobar, all with the day off. And time called by the home plate umpire, Kerwin Daly. And he jumps out from behind Tucker Barnhart, the catcher for the Reds. Now everyone appears to be set. Iglesias working from the stretch. Here's the pitch, and that's waved at and missed.
There's the slider. Got the plus slider. When you're throwing 95 miles an hour and you can put any kind of a tilt on it, right-handed hitters especially, are not going to see that out of the hand, and you saw it by that swing right there. That was a guessing dead red and did not see the spin.
Talked about Iglesias at the top today, and certainly reminds you of El Duque, where the way he wears his uniform, his delivery. There's one that's low, but he has a little better arm than El Duque. Of course, El Duque spent a long time in Cuba before he ever signed with the Yankees, and just 26 years old is Iglesias.
Well, it's one thing to face a guy throwing 95 with a over-the-top slot, but he's throwing sidearm right here to a right-hander, trying to get that backside corner. And you think about El Duque in the past, that was the thing that made him so tough. He threw every pitch from every arm angle, over the top, from the side, down under. He could throw all his pitches down there, and it just makes it so much more difficult for the hitter to pick up that ball. Advantage pitcher.
2-1 on Simmons. 1-0 Reds, bottom of the first. Here's the next pitch that caught the outside corner. 2-2 the count.
That's a filthy pitch. And you know, in this situation as a hitter, you're looking for that fastball just to put it in play and get the run in. And the fact that Simmons didn't even offer at it just tells you he probably didn't have a good look at it.
Yeah. Middle part of the infield at double play depth. Pickoff toss over to first base. Diving back goes Nava. Angels have C.J. Cron batting cleanup in this game, so he's waiting on deck. Nice crowd here today. Not as many, though, as we saw the past couple of days. Boy, we've had some very good crowds here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. The next delivery, chopped on the left side. This could be 2. Flip to second, relay on to first. It is a double play, but scoring on it will be Pennington. And the ball game tied up at 1. Cron will be the batter. So Simmons will not get an RBI on it, but the Angels have tied things up. And Crone, who's gone 5 for 26 with 3 runs batted in, will step up, no one on and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And first pitch fastball's high.
You can see that pitch right there. The release point was straight over the top. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. You're going to see that fastball from a lot of different angles. So even on deck circle, you've seen all those side. There it is right there.
Yeah, different angle.
Different angle. And you're in that on deck circle doing your homework saying, okay, we'll find those different release points. Get it together because it's coming at you.
2-0 the count on Crone. Here's the next pitch. Cut and a miss. Fooled them there. 2-1.
Looked a little bit like a changeup or a split. Something a little bit off speed inside. Crone was a little bit out in front of that. Thought he could get the barrel of the bat on it and just swung over the top of it.
And the next delivery, it's pop foul to our right back and out of play. So 2-2 count. Around the infield for Cincinnati. Votto at first. Phillips at second. Suarez at third with Ivan De Jesus Jr. at short. Rodriguez, the left fielder. Barraza is the center fielder. Bruce in right. Barnhart catching. Duvall DHing. And Iglesias on the mound. The 2-2 on Crone. He waves and misses that one. Struck him out, and that's how the inning will end. Each team getting a first inning run. We go to the second, tied at 1 in Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Second inning, 1-1 to score. This copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of today's ball game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of Angels Baseball. Jay Bruce at the plate. First pitch is in there. Lefty-lefty matchup. And the next pitch on Bruce, that's a little bit low and in. Angels have a shift on the right side. 3 infielders there. And here's the next pitch. Here's a high pop into shallow center field. Cunningham is playing there today for the Angels, and Todd Cunningham puts it away. An easy out. So Nate Smith getting some fly ball outs here in the early going. Adam Duvall will be the batter. We talked a little bit about this off air and a little bit on the pregame show on Fox Sports West today, but yesterday we saw the Angels do a 4-man right side of the infield.
I am just shocked. I really just can't believe we're at this stage of the game where we're seeing that on a regular basis. And I mean, I don't know I mean, that's all sabermetrics, and I know what they're doing. But as a hitter, how do you not get jammed or do? The game is about touching home plate, which starts by getting on first base. Yeah. Get on base.
There's one. Duvall fouls back. Mike Scioscia was saying that Alfredo Griffin said in the dugout when Mitch Moreland was batting with 2 strikes, he goes, "This guy always pulls the ball if he's going to hit it with 2 strikes." And the Angels decided to leave the entire, and I mean the entire left side of the infield open. Here's a fly ball lifted to right. It's right at Ortega. And he'll make the grab on that, and that's the second out. And Mike also said, and we were talking about Jose and I yesterday, we thought that was the first time, I was dead certain it was, that I ever saw the Angels do that. Mike Scioscia said, he goes, that might be the first time anybody's ever done it. So, I mean, you'd have to get some fact checkers there to, verify that. But it was definitely the first time the Angels have ever done it. And Mike said, hey, there might be some times this season where we will do that if all the spray charts and all the analytics tell us a certain guy, if he makes contact with 2 strikes on him, does something, we might do it during a regular season game.
Well, watching the game yesterday, Mitch Moreland, they did it, maybe it was the second at bat, they did it from the first pitch, and he actually tried to put a bunt over there, and it was not a very good attempt, which is maybe why they're not afraid of him bunting it, because he couldn't do it. But nonetheless, I mean, it just makes you think that, you take enough swings. Could you not manufacture a swing to just put it on that left side of that pitcher there? I mean, that is an easy hit.
Oh, and
boy, you think about all the times during the course of a season when you're just trying to buy a hit.
Here's DeJesus lining one into left center with 2 outs. That's going to fall in, and firing the ball back to the infield is Cunningham. He kind of stumbled after he stopped that one, but he does hold him to a 2-out single. So DeJesus is on. That's the 3rd Reds hit. And here is Yorman Rodriguez, the left fielder.
Nate's given up a few hits here in the first couple innings and had an errant throw and a pickoff move. But for the most part, I've liked what I've seen coming out of his hand. You can see why he's the number 3 prospect. He's got some decent life on his ball, and he's working both sides of the plate.
Here's the pitch. That's fouled off on the right side by Rodriguez.
You've seen some fastball counts where hitters just aren't getting the barrel out. A lot of inside-out swings, and when I see that out of an arm, it just makes me think, well, this guy is just a matter of time before he can just figure out how to execute all his pitches in that strike zone.
There's a toss over to first base, and back to the bag goes Ivan DeJesus Jr.
Weren't going on the first move there, like the first 2 runners in the first inning.
Here's the next pitch. Off speed, and chasing that high one is Rodriguez, so it's 0-2 on him. He's a Venezuelan native who signed a pretty big bonus with the Reds way back in 2008. About $2.5 million signing bonus. He was in AAA last year. Next pitch, just got a piece of that one, fouling it off near the Angels dugout. Fans, MLB.TV Premium, everything you have come to expect and more. New low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Nate Smith stepping off the rubber. 1-1 ball game here in Tempe. Here's the next pitch, and that's low and outside. These 2 teams met a week ago, last Monday, in a split squad game in Goodyear, and the Reds won that game 8-5. Matt Shoemaker had a tough start in that ball game. It was a game he gave up the 3 home runs. Here's the next pitch, and that's low. And with the Angels playing the NL Central in interleague play this year, we will see the Reds come to the Big A. They will be headed to take on the Angels in late August, 29th, 30th, and 31st in a 3-game series. The teams will have a pretty good idea where they stand at that point at the end of August. And the pitch, that's outside. That was a close pitch.
That was a close pitch, and like I said, Nate's doing a good job of working both sides of the plate. Threw a slider and a changeup down on the zone, couldn't get him to chase, and that one was really pretty close there.
So it's a full count. We'll see what gives with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that one just missed. So the strike zone a little bit tight. That's a 2-out walk. Runners at first and second. The inning continues.
Terry, is Major League Baseball, the umpires, they're trying to bring that zone up from the bottom half, right? Because that looked like a pretty darn good pitch, but you could see Kerwin, he didn't flinch on it. I'm wondering if, are they making that conscious attempt to bring that strike zone up a little bit on that lower half?
Yeah.
You talked about both these teams meeting later in August. This Reds team could look really a lot different by then, because a lot of the trade talk, the trade bait, the chips that they have are guys that might go before that trade deadline.
Right.
And the Angels might be seeing pretty much a AAA club out there.
Maybe a lot younger Reds club. You're right. Barnhart is the batter. He's their catcher today, switch hitter. Batting right-handed. He hit .252 for Cincinnati a year ago. And the timeout called by the home plate umpire, Kerwin Danley. 2 runners on base. Here's the pitch. That one is low. Barnhart mentioned he played in 81 games for the Reds last year, and he played more than he had figured to play, and that was because of Devin Mesoraco, their starting catcher. He suffered an injury, a hip injury, and he was done in June, speaking of Mesoraco, so that gave Barnhart a chance to play a lot more last season. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, Mesoraco, has he even played this spring? I'm not sure, but he should be on the mend.
He's yet to appear in a game for them this spring. Yeah. 1-2 pitch. That's low. 2-2 the count.
Well, that injury happened back in May of last year.
Yeah, had surgery. Two and two the count. 1-1 the score. We're in the second inning. Nate Smith trying to get the final out here, and the 2-2 delivery. That's lifted in the air into left field. Nava right there to put it away, and that's how the inning will end. So the Reds had a little threat, but failed to score. All 3 Angel outfielders with putouts in the inning. We're headed now to the bottom of the second, tied at 1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. As we get set to move to the bottom of the second, the Reds are going to make a pitching change. We thought Iglesias might throw 2 innings today, but it turns out just 1, so he is done. And the new pitcher for the Reds is Tim Melville. And he is up from minor league camp, a right-hander. Iglesias ended up going 1 inning, allowing 2 hits, a run. It was earned, and he also had a strikeout. There's a pitch that's in there for a strike on Carlos Perez, the Angels catcher. It's no balls, 1 strike. Melville set. Here's the next pitch, and that's low and away. 1-1 is the count. Melville has pitched in 2 games so far this spring, 5 innings, allowing just 1 earned run. Here's the next delivery, and that's low again. 2-1.
You know, Terry, we talked about Giovanni Soto in the pregame backing up this Carlos Perez, and listening to Mike Scioscia yesterday talk about his B game at bats yesterday, he was really impressed. I guess he really hit a couple balls on the screws and made a couple of really fine throws down to second base.
There's one that's on the outside part of the plate, and out looking is Carlos Perez.
And as have it, you start building somebody up and they strike out looking.
The old broadcaster's jinx right there. Well, get it out of your system early here today. So here is Johnny Giavotella. And Johnny batting for the first time for the Angels. Here comes the pitch. A high pop on the left side. The shortstop's going back. The left fielder is coming in, and it's going to be the shortstop, De Jesus, who makes the call and catch in shallow left field. So 2 quick outs. Ortega will be the next batter. He's gone 4 for 21 this spring. On the Ram Out of Town scoreboard on this Monday, it's brought to you by the Ram 1500, available with Eco Diesel V6 that gets an estimated 29 miles per gallon highway. Visit ramtrucks.com to learn more. Florida Grapefruit League, we have a bunch of finals. We'll run those down in just a moment as Ortega, the left-handed batter, takes ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next pitch, and that is inside 2-0. The Astros and the Nationals played to a 1-1 tie. The only Houston run came on a solo homer by Carlos Correa. Twins beat the Cardinals 5-3. And there's a bouncer by the mound and through into center field. Melville, the pitcher, tried to make a stab of it, and it got over his glove, so Ortega has a 2-out hit. Angels' 3rd hit in the ball game, and the batter will be Jeffrey Marte.
Well, Ortega did a nice job of hitting right there. He's got a nice swing, just a really nice swing. Talking to Ron Renicky about him before the game, this guy really has a grasp for the inner workings of the game. He understands it. He takes what they give him, and they're pretty high on him. They love his arm in the outfield. You talk about that extra outfielder off the bench, hitting on the left side. He might be a big mix in this Angel team this year.
Yep, has some speed, and there he goes. He's on the move to pitch a ball. The throw to second, it's high, and an easy stolen base, as it turns out, by Ortega. Barnhart, the catcher, threw to second from his knees. A stolen base for Raphael. He's in scoring position with 2 outs. Detroit beat the Mets today in Florida Grapefruit League play, 9-2. J.D. Martinez, another home run for the Tigers, his 3rd. Baltimore beat Philadelphia 8-7. The storyline there, a pair of home runs for Michael Franco for the Phillies. He's had 6 home runs this spring. 6 already.
2 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Peaking a little early. Save some for the lights.
Good young third baseman for the Phillies. Manny Machado homered in that Orioles win, his 2nd this spring. Pablo Sandoval homered for Boston. That was their only run, as they were beaten by the Pirates 3-1, and the Braves shut out the Rays 5-0.
Well, when you're a young player, you like to be able to hit the home runs just to kind of show everybody what you're capable of doing and build your confidence a little bit. But as you get older, you really come to understand that that home run swing in spring training, you really don't want to peak too early with that. You want to be able to get in those counts, take the count deep, work on your two-strike approach, and really just get deeper into bats. And if the home runs come, great. But
there goes the runner, and now a toss over to third base. The Angels, Ortega is caught in a rundown. They're going to apply the tag on him, and the inning is over. Boy, he was already more than halfway to third base before Melville realized it, but he still had plenty of time to get him. He only had to throw to third, and out on the caught stealing will be Ortega to end the inning. So here in the bottom of the second, Angels are blank. We're headed to the third in a 1-1 game here in Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Houston Street, the Angels closer, will get set for his second appearance this spring. We saw him against the D-backs here in a game last Thursday, and he ended up giving up 2 hits and a walk and threw a wild pitch in that one inning, but did not allow any runs. So he will take over. Nate Smith, the starter. 2 innings. He allowed 3 hits, a run earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts.
Terry, sometimes people wonder, why would you bring your closer in the 3rd inning of a game? Why not leave him for the end of it in spring training, get him used to finishing out things? But typically in spring training, by the 9th inning, when these guys would typically be in, they're facing a bunch of A-ball minor leaguers, and you don't really get a good gauge of where your stuff is at unless you're facing the major league hitters. So having them come out to start the top half of this Reds lineup again has a good chance to see some major league hitters.
Absolutely. First pitch is a pitch in there for a strike. Want to remind Angel fans that fans in attendance for the Angels opening series against the Cubs on April the 4th and 5th will receive a wall calendar courtesy of U.S. Bank while supplies last. Every game matters, so purchase your tickets at angels.com. There's a cut and a miss by Peraza, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. He singled leading off the ball game, stole second, and then scored on a base hit from Suarez. It's a 1-1 game in the 3rd, and that is a called 3rd strike, and a quick out. Peraza is out looking 1 away.
That's a really nice job there, Street. Starting the count off early on the inside part of the plate, and those last 2 fastballs, 1 cut away, he swung at and missed, and then this one was that 2-seamer that came back. That's midseason form right there.
Suarez, the batter. RBI single back in the 1st inning. And that first pitch to him taken for ball 1. Want to remind you, Experian, let's get serious about your credit. Go to Experian.com today. And the next pitch. That's high and away. It misses. 2-0 the count. Here's the next pitch. Grounded sharply to short, right at Pennington. His throw to first base, right on the money to C.J. Cron. That's the second out.
Very nice pitch. Working away early in the count. This time came back with the two-seamer inside. Got the ground ball, rolled him up. Looks like he has some pretty good movement for early in spring. You got to realize in spring training down here in Arizona, the ball doesn't move as much. Curveballs don't break as much. Sometimes, it's so dry, too. Sometimes it's hard to get the grip. So those secondary pitches that you're expecting to move don't always move as much as you'd like here in spring.
Here's Joey Votto batting. Left-handed hitter. He takes ball one. Votto in his career has been an on-base machine. .459 on-base percentage last year. And a check swing. That's a little roller by the mound. Fielded on the left side. And the throw to first base is in time. And that's how the inning will end. Little check swing will get Joey Votto. So a quick inning for Houston Street. His day is likely over. And he has a clean top of the third. We are headed to the bottom of the third as we go there. We're still tied at 1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. First batter for the Angels, bottom of the third, is Jeffrey Marte. He was batting when Ortega was caught in that rundown between second and third. They got him out to end the Angels' bottom of the second. So bottom of the third we go. It's a 1-1 ball game. First pitch of ball on Marte, who's playing third base for the Angels. We've seen him at first base this spring as well. And he takes ball 2-0.
I could see Marte hit yesterday a little bit. He's a big boy. Has a little bit of thunder in his bat. 15 home runs last year in Toledo. 4 in a short stint with Detroit last year. But you have to have a position, right?
Right. Yeah.
You got to be able to play defense.
He has struggled defensively at the two corner infield spots so far this spring. Here's the 3-0, and he takes that one all the way. Called strike. Cunningham waiting on deck. Each team got a first inning run. We're in the third. And here's the 3-1 pitch. That's way low and inside, so that's a leadoff walk. Angels have a base runner for the switch hitting center fielder Todd Cunningham. Terry Smith, Tim Salmon, and our producer-engineer Darren Chan with you. Jose Mota will be heading to Panama for some World Baseball Classic qualifying games. I guess Jose, as we speak right now, is hosting Mota Mondays, and the pitch, that one is a little bit outside. So Jose is answering some questions in the Twitter
world.
That's right. Yep. 1 ball, no strikes to count. There goes the runner. The pitch, that's a liner in the right field. Beautiful job of hitting and running, and easily getting to third base will be Marte. On with a base hit is Cunningham, and that worked to perfection right there. Runners at the corners, no outs.
Yeah, you saw Marte running, looking in the whole way. That was no doubt a hit and run. And once again, we're talking about this is an opportunity for some of these guys fighting for some bench duties to show Soch that they can handle the calls that are coming from the bench. And that was not a very easy pitch to handle. Down and away, kind of, I think, and did a great job of putting it in play. You know, Terry, when I played, Joe Madden was with us. Whenever I was struggling, I loved the hit and run. It just made me put the barrel on the ball wherever it was, and that always seemed to kind of get me out of a funk. And I love the hit and run. You have to have the right mindset as a hitter, I suppose, but any chance I have with my young kids, I put it on.
Yeah.
Get the thinking out of the head. Just see the ball and hit it.
Yeah. Hannington awaiting the first pitch in this matchup. He's around the bunt and drops it down to the right of the mound. Only one play first base, and it is in time, but scoring is Marte as the Angels squeeze one in. Melville, the pitcher, fielded that ball. He thought about coming to the plate, but then decided just to get the shore out at first base. So the Angels squeeze one in.
Well, a little bit of a safety squeeze. Marte had the right beat on it, and then he stopped when he looked like the pitcher was going to get on it. He almost got himself thrown out. If he would have just kept going, you could see him hesitate right there, and they actually had to play at the plate.
So 2-1 Angels. And the batter now is Nava. At second base is Cunningham. He moved up on the squeeze bunt, and the next pitch, that one misses, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes on Nava, who's already singled. He's really hit well so far this spring.
Yeah, I'm watching Socha down in the dugout right now, giving Cliff Pennington a high five. This is the kind of game Soch likes. He likes to have these young guys where he can put a lot of different scenarios or signs on for the different scenarios that come up and see if they can execute. And so far, so good. The Angels have been executing. Those guys are doing a good job of showing him what they have, what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, this inning, the hit and run single, safety squeeze, bringing the runner in from third. 2-0 now on Nava. And he takes that one for a strike. It's 2-1. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Monday afternoon baseball from Tempe. Terry Smith, Tim Salmon, Darren Chan, our producer-engineer, with you. And the next pitch, that's low and inside. Boy, we've seen Nava have a lot of at-bats like this. He has really been working pitchers in his plate appearances so far this spring. It's a good sign.
It is, and like I mentioned, the veteran hitters want to get deeper in accounts because that's what it's going to be like in the next month when the lights turn on. You're going to be facing guys, and they're not just going to be feeding you fastballs like they do in spring training.
Nava takes that one outside, so he has a 5-pitch walk. And Simmons will be the next batter. Fans, don't forget, if your computer is running slow, go to mycleanpc.com. Get a free computer diagnosis in minutes. You can activate MyClean PC software to clean out the junk that may be slowing down your computer. Visit mycleanpc.com.
Terry, I saw Mike Socha went over to Jeffrey Marte and was talking to him about what was expected there on that run. And, you know, he was obviously gesturing, don't stop, just keep going. It's a safety squeeze. If you're out, you're out.
Right.
In that situation. But when you think about spring training.
There's a pop-up foul over on the first base side. The catcher, Barnhart, will run out of room.
Well, when you think about spring training and what social or any coaching staff wants to have when they come out of camp is they want to know what these guys can do for them off the bench. And sometimes you see guys with big batting averages that maybe don't make it. Well, is that guy a guy that can come off and play late inning defense, or can he come off the bench and put down a bunt? And Socha plays these guys, and he hopefully can give them these opportunities to show them that, hey, he's capable of putting down that bunt. So, hey, in another month he can have the confidence to put Pennington in there and put that bunt play on.
1 strike now on Simmons. And, boy, it looked like the runners were thinking about going. They end up holding that pitch taken, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nava did a great job right there. His job right there is maybe there's a green light for Cunningham over there at second base, and Nava's job is if he goes, you go, but you keep your eye on him. You can see Nava has a big lead over there. And he saw Cunningham break, and he thought, oh, he's going, I better go. But he was able to put the brakes on and get back.
Joey Votto is not holding the bag. In fact, he's playing way across from it. So that's allowing the Angel base runner, Daniel Nava, to get a huge lead off of first base. It counts 2-1 on Simmons. And a pickoff toss to second, but Phillips was near second. He wasn't on the bag, so easily getting back as the lead runner. That's Cunningham. Cunningham has good speed. Nava is not nearly as fast as Todd Cunningham, but Nava getting that giant-sized lead off of first. Here's the pitch. That's low and inside, and now it's a 3-1 count.
Well, Terry, you talked about it a little bit before the game, the speed. That's the aspect the Angels have really missed last year and kind of over the last handful of years. I kind of go back to the Sean Figgins years when you had that speed. What a difference maker it made. And you get somebody with some speed out there in the bases, and it distracts that pitcher a little bit, and all of a sudden he leaves balls over the plate. Hitters hit a little better in those situations.
That pitch is fouled back upstairs and out of play. Some of the secondary pieces, you might say, the Angels have added here this offseason. A Cunningham, a Quentin Berry, just a couple. And Ortega. I mean, these guys can all run. They can steal you a base.
You know, of course, Mike Trout, I mean, he's the ultimate, but you know, as he gets older.
There go the runners. A pitch line foul just behind the Angels dugout on the right side. So the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I was going to say, you know, even with Mike Trout stealing bases, yes, he's capable of doing it, but he will admit the toll it takes on your body. And when you're a guy that weighs 230, 240 pounds, you know, running every day and diving, it takes a toll. And you want this guy to be mentally sharp each and every at-bat that he gives you, because he's going to help you win more at the plate than maybe on the bases stealing a few extra bags. But
there go the runners again. This one is popped up foul first base side. This one is playable. Coming in making the grab on it is Votto. So that's an easy out. The runners have to head back to their respective bases. Simmons is set down. That's out number 2 in the inning. And C.J. Cron will be the next batter.
This would be an interesting situation for C.J. right here. We talked about last year getting out of the gate slow with runners in scoring position, and just really didn't get it going out of the gate, and kind of got it going later in the year and became that RBI guy. But got to find a way to get yourself locked into spring training, hitting in these situations with 2 outs.
Pitch on Cron, taken inside, ball 1.
I remember in spring training playing sometimes. I'd go 3 or 4 games and not have an RBI opportunity, and I'm getting at bats, but these situations are different. I mean, it's the whole mindset locking you into what are you looking for, where are you zoning, what's this guy going to throw me?
Here's a pitch low and away.
As you can see, he's not going to throw him a fastball right down the middle like he might with nobody on base. So you really got to zone in what you're looking for and be aggressive within your zone, not his zone. And I think sometimes when you don't get enough of these kinds of at-bats in spring training, you can go into the season really not ready.
There's one foul back to the screen. Crone has driven in 3 runs so far this spring. He has been up a lot of different times with people on base. And yet another time right here.
Well, I always believed the more times I was up, the more comfortable I was going to get in my approach, and the better I was going to be ultimately.
Infield backed up with 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. Low and in. So it's 3-1. Angels have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Up 2-1. Trying to get some more with 2 outs. Here's the next pitch, and that one is cut and missed, so it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a little bit of an example of spring training zoning in. 3-1 pitch in the season. Hopefully you don't swing at that pitch out of the zone. Hopefully you just take the walk right there. But being aggressive early, trying to figure out, okay, I want to get my hands extended. Well, how far out do I want to go on that pitch? And that one was clearly out of the zone. But he's being aggressive, and he's trying to get his mindset right here.
Go the runners on the 3-2. It's grounded on the left side. Phillips, the second baseman, will field it. Not far from second. He'll throw out Crone. And that's how the inning will end. So the Angels settle for 1. Had 1 hit, couple walks in the inning. And as we get ready to move to inning number 4 here in Tempe, it's a 2-1 Angels lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels will make a move to the bullpen and bring in the second reliever of the day. Javi Guerra taking over for Houston Street. Street retired all 3 that he faced with 1 strikeout. So here's Javi Guerra. Done a good job so far this spring. And Brandon Phillips, the first batter against them. The first pitch that's cut on, fouled off on the right side, out of play. Guerra is appearing in his 5th game, 4 scoreless innings so far, allowing 4 hits, walking 2, striking out 3. Want to remind Angel fans the 20-game flex plan offers a variety of game options to choose from. It includes opening night, premium matchups, and popular promotional giveaway nights. Visit angels.com/ticket plans. Here's the next pitch, and that's lined into right center. That will fall in for a leadoff hit. Phillips with his first hit today. Reds have their 4th in the ball game. And Jay Bruce will be the next batter.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Brandon Phillips. I've always liked the way he swings the bat. He keeps his hands inside the ball, uses the whole ballpark. Sometimes when you're a young hitter, you're thinking about getting that head of the bat out all the time, but by using the right side center part of the ball or the field, it really keeps you on the ball. And that one right there, he was able to extend his hands and he drove it to right center field.
Here's the pitch, a little bit inside, and misses ball one on Jay Bruce.
Watching Jay Bruce, that makes me think that this was the guy that the Angels, we all thought we were going to end up making a deal for Jay Bruce last year, didn't we?
That's right, yep. His name was certainly floating around, even after the season as well. You thought maybe that might be revisited. But, and Bruce his name was being mentioned with a lot of other clubs as well, but here he is with the Reds. Next pitch. That's in there for a called strike.
Well, without a doubt, I mean, when he's swinging the bat well, he can help out any offense. But last year, I know there was some concerns about the way he was swinging the bat at the time. High strikeout rate and just, nice pick.
Toss over to first base, and just getting back is the base runner over there, Phillips. Jay Bruce last season hit only .226, but he had 26 homers, 87 runs batted in. He missed only 5 games.
You know, Terry, and 26 home. We've had a lot of guys that have hit home runs in other places. They come to Anaheim. It's a little different.
Yeah.
That marine layer air.
Yep.
Talk to Torrey, Vernon Wells. Go down the line. I mean, Albert, his first month over here. It's a different ballpark, and then you.
Here's one bounced on the right side. Angels had the shift on to throw to second, one relay to first, and that is a double play. So Bruce hits into a twin killing right there.
That was an interesting play right there. You think about Johnny Giavotella, and he went to get that ball, and he had somebody standing right there on his left-hand side. Marte was positioned over there as well. A little bit confusing. It's like now the first baseman that you typically see him wondering who's going to get that play, but it was the shifted guy, Marte, and Johnny did a great job of making a nice feed to Pennington to complete that double play.
There's Duvall batting, right-handed hitter. First pitch in there for a strike. Duvall has some good power. He had 5 home runs in only 27 games with the Reds last season, and then he had 30 home runs last year in AAA. And there's a pitch that he takes, and count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one is the count. Adam Duvall, the batter. And the next pitch, this is popped in the air on the right side. Giavotella has to wait for it to come down. He's still on the dirt. The second baseman makes the catch, and the inning is over. Another good inning for Javi Gary. He's done a nice job so far every time we've seen him on the mound. Fairly quiet inning for the Reds. No runs, they had a hit, and we're headed now to the bottom of the 4th. Angels leading Cincinnati 2-1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Carlos Perez will be the first batter for the Angels here in the bottom of the fourth, and Tim Melville is still out there, so this is going to be his third inning. Perez took a called third strike when he matched up against Melville back in the bottom of the second. It's 2-1 Angels as we begin the Angels bottom of the fourth. Angels will be back here in Tempe again tomorrow. Nice long homestand here in Cactus League play. Tomorrow will be the fourth straight game here, and it'll be Seattle coming in. Andrew Heaney will go for the Angels against Cody Martin. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Terry, you think of the situations with the pitching staff in the last week with CJ and Weaver and Shoemaker. Some of the things have been talked about. It's vitally important that Heaney really gets his work in this spring and comes out of the gates ready to go.
There's a ball chopped to third. Suarez fields and throws out Perez for the first out. Yeah, you'd like to see the pitchers the Angels are counting on to be in that rotation. You'd like to see things kind of smooth out a little bit here.
Yeah.
There are some question marks right now.
Yeah. I mean, coming into camp with 8 pitchers, you're thinking, what are you going to do? Well, it's a good thing they had 8 pitchers, because right now, 2 of them at least aren't going to be on that opening day roster, or at least on the DL, probably, huh?
Yes, Skaggs and Wilson have yet to pitch this spring, so neither one really figures to be on the opening day roster. You kind of wonder where Jared Weaver is right now. Here's a grounder just out of the reach of DeJesus. That's going to skip into left field. And Johnny Giavotella has his first hit today. Angels have hit number 5 overall. And with 1 out, Ortega will be the next batter.
Nice piece of hitting right here. Johnny Giavotella, in my mind, he's a little bit of that West Coast version of Dustin Pedroia. He's got a little bit of that, just excitement to him. And he handles the bat real well. He'll put some thunder in that swing every once in a while, but seems to always be putting the bat on the ball hard.
He has a decent lead at first base, not going, and the pitch. That's hit well into right field. Going back as Jay Bruce has a beat on it, though, and he'll make the catch. Ortega gave that one a pretty good ride out there in right center field, but it's out number 2.
Sounded like he might have just gotten it a little bit off the end of the bat.
Yeah.
Nice pass. Haven't seen enough of him swing to know if you want to see him turning on the ball and elevating, or if you just want to keep him up the middle and hitting his line drives. But like you said, for a minute there, it looked like he might have hit it a little better than he did.
Yeah, Ortega not really a power threat. So here's Marte getting ready to bat. He walked and scored the go-ahead run last inning. Right-hander against right-hander, tossed to first, and Giavotella gets back safely. On Wednesday, when the Angels will play on the road, the Angels will be at Goodyear, and the Angels will be placing the Cleveland Indians. The Reds and Indians share that facility, Goodyear Ballpark. And we're still not quite sure who will be making the start in that game for the Angels Wednesday against the Tribe. Melville is set, has the sign, and here's the pitch. Cut and a miss. Good off-speed pitch that fooled Marte.
Nice off-speed pitch right there. Heading the count, being able to throw that first pitch for a changeup for a strike. That's a good pitch when you got a hitter up there that might be a little bit aggressive that second time through the lineup.
Here's the next delivery, and that's inside.
Terry, I was thinking about our starting pitching. Did I not hear Soch say that Skaggs might throw a simulated this weekend? Is that what he's on pace for?
I think that's about where he's slated right now. Getting very close, and the pitch. That's fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. I mean, the Angels have just taken it very slowly with Tyler Skaggs, and that was by design. And assuming that Skaggs will be pitching for the Angels sometime this season, they'll monitor his innings if he's with the Angels at the major league level.
Very bright future. You don't want to jeopardize the present for the future.
There goes Johnny Giavotella, throw down a second, and I think the batter Marte is out on strikes, as it turns out, and that will end the inning. So Giavotella is still hanging around second, but Marte retired. Inning is over, and that'll do it for the Angels here in the fourth. We are headed to the fifth inning. It's 2-1 Angels on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
Ivan Jesus Jr.
Angels will use their fourth pitcher this afternoon. Jose Alvarez will take over for Javi Guerra. Guerra worked a scoreless inning against the Reds in the fourth, allowing one hit. So it'll be Alvarez who goes, and for the left-handed reliever, this will be his fourth appearance. He's given up 3 runs earned in 3 1/3 innings so far this spring. And Ivan De Jesus Jr. will be the first batter to face him. Angel fans, be a winner and play in the Gardens Casino New Omaha Progressive Jackpot. Visit thegardenscasino.com for more info, and please play responsibly. First pitch. That one is taken outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Alvarez, certainly a left-handed reliever the Angels are counting on this season, and the pitch that's fouled back on the right side out of play.
Fantastic job for the Angels last year. Make no mistake about that.
0-1 on De Jesus. He was in 76 games for the Reds last year and hit .244. He smacks this one down the third base side. It's going to be a long throw for Marte, and the throw will take the first baseman Crone off the bag. The throw got there in time, but it was just a little bit too wide, and that'll be a hit all the way for De Jesus, his second hit of the game.
Well, we talked about Marte and his defense coming into this game, and just that's been kind of the knock to this far in his career, but made a nice play. Looked like he had plenty of juice on that ball too, considering the throw, and just a little bit off target there.
So the Reds have the potential tying run at first base. Yorman Rodriguez is the next batter. It's 2-1 Angels here in the fifth, and the next pitch that's right in there for a called strike. Rodriguez, the batter, 23 years old. Outfield prospect in the Reds organization. Here's the next pitch, and that one is a swing and a miss. The Reds a year ago lost 98 games, and they've had only 3 winning seasons the last 15 years. And they clearly took a step backward last season. Here's the pitch on its way. This is grounded to short. Should be 2. Flip to second. Relay to first. And it's a double play. So 2 outs. No one on base. 9-hole hitter. Barnhart will be the next batter.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment you made there about the 3 winning seasons. I mean, when you think of the players they've had, it just seems like they've had those players for the last dozen years. But, you know, Johnny Cueto, Mike Leake, Marlon Byrd, Chapman, Frazier, Bruce, Brandon Phillips, Votto, Mesoraco, Homer Bailey. I mean, it seems like with those guys, it seems like they've been playing forever together. But you got to be healthy, and that's probably been the biggest issue for them, is getting all those guys in the lineup at one time. At least it was last year for sure.
Here's one that's outside, and the count on Barnhart 1-1. The Reds have been to the postseason 3 of the last 6 years, but also only 3 times over the last 20 years. There's a cut and a miss, and they finished in 3rd place or lower in the National League Central 12 times in the last 15 seasons.
They play in a pretty tough division, though.
Yeah, yes, they do. And
the Cardinals.
That's as tough as it gets now. Pirates and Cubs. There's a pitch on the outside corner. Taking a called 3rd strike is Barnhart. Nice inning, maybe the best inning so far this spring for Alvarez, as he faces only 3 batters here in the 5th. The bottom of the 5th is coming up. Angels have Cunningham, Pennington, and Nava slated. It's a 2-1 Angels lead here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Todd Cunningham is the batter for the Angels, and he was around a bunt and ends up taking that pitch for a ball. And here's the next pitch. That's high and outside. Cunningham's had a single his only time up. Melville is still pitching, so he's beginning his 4th inning, although they do have some action in the bullpen. Here's the 2-0, and that one is hit well into right field. Jay Bruce is going back, still back. He has a play on it, and out on the warning track, he gathers it in.
Number 7.
So Cunningham, who's a guy who's not much for power, gave that one a long ride, but he's retired one away.
Nice swing. He's had a couple nice swings today. Got himself a fastball. Did what he was supposed to do. Put the good part of the bat on it. Just got under it a little bit. But again, those are good quality at bats. I mean, he's had a single his first at bat, and then that one right there. And that's what Soch wants to see. They want to see you go up there and swing it freely and show them what you can do.
Here's the 1-0 pitch on Pennington. That's in there. The Reds have a big man, and I mean a big man, warming up in their bullpen. And warming up is Jumbo Diaz. He is a 300-pounder warming up and a pretty good relief pitcher. But he is a big man.
Looks like Sabathia thrown from the other side.
2 balls and 1 strike is the count, so we'll probably see him whether or not it's before this half inning is over or next inning. There's one that's tipped foul over by Mike Socha and his coaching staff. Mike made the play on that. 2-2 the count. Pennington has had a base hit. He scored a run, and he also squeezed in a run. And here's a little pop in his shallow left. He's going to get on base again. Goes the opposite way. Has a 1-out single, his second hit of the day. So the Angels have had at least 1 hit every inning. Lead by a run 2-1, and Nava, who they haven't gotten out, he will be stepping up. He has a single and a walk. Talked about Nava and how much he's been getting on base here this spring. His on-base percentage coming into today in Cactus League action, .667. And he's been up twice today and on base safely both times. So the Angels really have to be excited with what they've seen from him. He's a guy who last season had his worst year in the majors. He hit under 200.
I think he had I think he had a wrist injury.
He had, yep, sure did.
I mean, that's going to derail any hitter. But you know, if you just read his story, I mean, he's got a fantastic story, his road to the big leagues. But once he grew and kind of, developed a little bit, he hit at every level he's ever played at. I mean, he was always, winning a batting title or, some kind of a batting recognition in junior college ball to the independent ball to the minor leagues. And this guy can hit. He has a track record for hitting. It's just he was a little bit of a late bloomer and got a little bit later start on his success.
Here's one that's outside. So he's taken all 3 pitches. They've all been out of the strike zone. It's 3-0. Nava is from Redwood City, California, with the Rays and the Red Sox last year, and he takes ball 4. That is a 4-pitch walk. So he's on again. And now that might be it for Melville. We'll have to wait and see. Mark Riggins is the pitching coach, and he is out there talking to the reliever. So they're going to stay with him a little bit longer.
First base for your Angels, number 37, Quentin Berry.
Angels are going to bring in a pinch runner for Nava. His day is over, and Quentin Berry has come in. Probably take over in left field as well. So Nava ended up going 1 for 1, a single and 2 walks. See what Simmons can do here. He's had an 0 for 2 day. He's hit into a double play and he's popped out. So he's looking to get something going, and the pitch That's high. 1-0 the count. And Drolton Simmons, the designated hitter for the Angels. Pennington's been playing shortstop. Mike Scioscia wanting to get Simmons some at-bats today, even though a lot of the Angel regulars ended up getting the day off. 1-0 pitch, and he checks on that one. Did he go around? Looks like he held up. 2-0.
Well, we've also had a good opportunity to see Cliff Pennington play some shortstop. He's made a few nice plays over there, and again, as much as you're going to rely on Simmons at short, it's nice to know that you've got somebody that can come off the bench and handle that position well.
2-0 pitch, a flare into left. That's going to be a base hit. So the Angels will have runners everywhere. The bases are loaded. Simmons gets a one-out single.
Cliff Pennington had to hold on that. Had to freeze, line drive just out over the outstretched arms of the shortstop there, and played it nicely.
And after that base hit there by Simmons, that will be it. So we will be having a pitching change. Headed out to is the manager, Brian Price, to make the move. So we have a break in the action. When we get back, Angels are threatening to add on up 2-1. Have the bases loaded with one out. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Pitching change coming up on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Jumbo Diaz is the new pitcher. They list him at 6'4", 315 pounds. And he was in 61 games for the Reds last year. All in relief, had a save, 2-1 record, 4.18 ERA. He has a real good arm, power arm. Fastball top out around 98. He has a good split finger pitch. He began his pro career in 2002. He was in the Dodgers organization. And the first pitch, that one trying to hold up on it, is Crone. Went around for strike one.
I talked about it in his last at bat, and here's another example or situation for him. Hitting him with runners in scoring position. Sometimes it's more about what you're thinking than what you're actually seeing and what they're giving you. And this is a good opportunity to get your mind right on what your approach going to be. Was up there a little aggressive early, but you got to recognize in this situation, maybe he's not going to come at you with that fastball, and of course he didn't. He threw a split, and then it looks like another split or fastball down right there. So you almost got to start thinking backwards with these pitchers in these kinds of situations.
Diaz is ready. Bases jammed, one out. Next pitch on Crone, that's inside. Jumbo Diaz, when he signed with the Reds, and he's out of the Dominican Republic, mentioned first year in Pro Ball 2002. He didn't get to the big leagues until 2014. So he certainly paid his dues. Here's the pitch. That's lined into right. That's an RBI hit. 1 run will score. Angels are going to send another runner home. Throw to the plate is late. Runners at the corners. 2 in thanks to Crone. And now it's 4-1 Angels.
Great piece of hitting right there. Exactly what we've been talking about here. He got the fastball and he didn't try to turn it. He went the other way with it, kept the ball at the middle of the field, hit the ball to right center field. That's a great piece of hitting right there. That's the tendency as you know, young hitters or any hitter, you get amped up in the situation and you want that fastball and you want to get the head out and you're looking to do damage on the left side of the field maybe, and sometimes you just got to back off that a little bit and realize that fastball that they give you may not come when you want it, and just to guard against that, be willing to take that fastball the other way to keep you on the other pitches.
So the Angels are going to bring in a pinch hitter, and this is Ji-Man Choi, who cuts and misses the first pitch for strike 1. Choi is batting out of Carlos Perez's slot, the number 5 spot in the batting order. Perez went 0 for 2, so the Angels will have to bring in a new catcher when we get to the 6th inning. Here's the next pitch on Choi, and he swings and fouls that one back.
This morning, Soch was talking about the fact that Choi is no longer going to be a switch hitter. He's kind of going to stick to one side of the plate.
Yep, just going to bat left-handed, and he's having a good spring. He has a shot to maybe win a reserve spot for the Angels on the opening day roster. And here he pops one in the air in the right field. We'll see if it's deep enough to get the runner in. And bluffing Tag is the runner at third. So going back to the bag will be Simmons. But heads up play there as the throw came towards the plate, as tagging and moving up to second base will be C.J. Crone on the flyout. That's the second out. And the batter now is Johnny Giavotella. Giavotella 1 for 2 today.
Johnny G's been swinging a very good bat this spring.
And he was showing signs of bunting there, and that pitch is a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, the third baseman Suarez was playing back, giving him the line. Nice job, nice thinking right there by Johnny. I just can't imagine it's very easy to be bunting off a guy throwing 97, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah. Diaz ready. Here's the next pitch. A little pop down the right field side. That one is tight to the line, but it drops foul. Yeah, that ball dropped in. That would have been 2 more runs, but a foul ball. 0-2 the count.
Johnny was running down that line, leaning. He was trying to give it as much body language as he could to keep it fair, but
4-1 Angels. Bottom of the 5th inning. Score update brought to you by Experian. Get serious about your credit by visiting Experian.com. Terry Smith, Tim Salmon, and Darren Chan, our producer engineer. Monday afternoon baseball here from Tempe Diablo Stadium. Here's the next pitch. Giavotella hit that one a long way, but foul down the left side. He was all over that pitch.
Might have been an 0-2 split that hung. Can't imagine he'd be that far out in front of that fastball, but he definitely hung up in the plate. It didn't have any drop to it.
Giavotella, the 7th batter up in the inning. Here's the next pitch, and that is low. Good block on it by the catcher Barnhart.
I have a feeling that pitch before was a split, and that's what he meant to do with it right there. Get it down in the zone. Don't hang it.
Diaz came in, gave up the 2-run hit to Crone, retired the pinch hitter Choi. 2 outs in the inning. Next delivery, that's lifted in the air into left center field. That ball's hit well. Going back is Rodriguez, and he's unable to make the play on that one. The ball's loose out on the warning track. The Angels are going to get a couple runs and diving headfirst into third base with a 2-run triple. As the Angels add on is Johnny Giavotella. It's 6-1.
Great piece of hitting right there. Looked like he got a little bit of a slider. Something off speed. They could have been another split, but he's kept his hands back, stayed on it. Put a nice pass in the ball. Yeah, I think that was a slider right there. Great piece of hitting, not trying to do too much. When you're facing a guy throwing 95 to 98, so many hitters are trying to get the head of the bat out. Don't want to be late on that fastball. If you're trying to do that, and they throw you one of those off-speed pitches, you have no chance. You're going to be out in front of it. And the fact that he was able to hit an off-speed pitch the way he did tells me that he was not trying to do too much with that fastball.
Here's Ortega batting, and he grounds one just out of the reach of Phillips. Through into right. Giavotella will score on that RBI hit. And the Angels starting to pull away here. It's 7-1. Marte will be the next batter. So a good inning here for the Angels. 5-run inning. This was a close game coming into the bottom of the fifth. It was 2-1. Now it's 7-1.
Pitching his lefty down and in. Ortega did a great job keeping that ball in play again. Almost kind of like the hit and run he had earlier, down and in. Did a nice job of putting the barrel on the ball.
Jumbo Diaz came in with the bases loaded. All three of those runners ended up scoring, and Diaz has given up a couple of runs of his own here. And the next pitch, that's hit well down the left field side, but a foul ball.
He got his hanging slider. He was ready for that, just a little bit out in front of that one.
Marte has the count go to 0-2. Batter number 9 in the inning. And the Reds are getting more action in their bullpen. Here's the next pitch. That is low and outside.
Marte's a big guy, and he has some ability to hit with some power. And I'm always impressed when I see a young power hitter that just has the ability to spit on sliders in the dirt. It makes me think that he has a little bit more experience seeing that ball. And even that first slider he hit down the line, I mean, he just missed keeping that fair. Power hitters being able to hit off speed, that's a good combination.
2-strike pitch. He hits that one sharply. It's off the glove of the diving third baseman, and by the time DeJesus picks it up, the shortstop, no throw. So that should be a hit. And the inning continues. Angels have them at first and second. And Cunningham will be the batter, and now they're going to go out and have a word with Jumbo Diaz.
That was a great piece of hitting right there. All of you seen your off-speed pitches to that point in the at-bat, and the first fastball you get, you're able to rip it. Seeing the ball well.
So the Angels will have their 10th batter coming up. And this very well could be the best inning offensively this spring for the Angels. And we mentioned coming in during this little winning streak, the Angels have been scoring a lot of runs, 24 runs in the past 3 games and 7 more in this one, and we're only in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. That's popped in the air on the left side, and that's going to fall in, and the Angels are going to get another run. Base hit by Cunningham, and the throw to second is late. He hustles up to second with an RBI double on that one, and it's 8-1 Angels. Pennington will bat. Angels have certainly figured out Jumbo Diaz here. He's faced 6 batters, and 5 of them have hits.
Isn't that the great thing about the game? Cunningham, he led off the inning. He just missed what we thought was a home run. Hit it good. Comes up again, just flares one over the other way, and drops in there for a double, RBI double. They say it always evens out, but I'm not always sure about that.
There's one that is a strike on the outside corner on Pennington, who's had an RBI today on a squeeze bunt. He's had a couple of singles as well, including one in this inning. Here's the pitch. That's low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, we talk so much about the hitters and, you know, the timing and the rhythm of getting out there and seeing the different pitches. And, you know, it goes the other way for the pitchers, too. I mean, Jumbo throws a mid to upper 90s, and just trying to get a feel for locating his pitches and putting them in the spots that big league hitters won't hurt you with. I mean, you throw fastballs down the middle of the plate, they're going to get hit. I don't care how hard you're throwing them, but when you can hit your spots and mix up and get your location right and work ahead in the count, that's what makes you a successful major leaguer. And it's spring training. I mean, these guys are out there on the other side trying to do the same thing. Get themselves ready for the lights.
2 strikes to count. Next one on Pennington. That's a fastball. He throws it by him, struck him out. The inning is over, but a big inning for the Angels. Their best this spring. 6 runs in the inning for the Angels, who did it with 7 hits. So we have completed 5, and we're headed to the 6th. It's 8-1 Angels on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels will make a few changes as we get set to move to the 6th inning. It's 8-1 Halos. The new pitcher is Lucas Litke, so he replaces Jose Alvarez, who had a scoreless 5th inning. And Litke will become pitcher number 5 of the day for the Angels. His battery mate is Jet Bandy. G-Man Choi is now at first base. Sherman Johnson is the Angels' second baseman, and staying in the ball game to take over in left field is Quentin Berry. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. First pitch from the lefty Litke, and this is the leadoff man Peraza batting. He takes it for ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Litke is set. Here's the next pitch. That's a called strike on the outside corner. Litke's numbers this spring for the Angels. This is game number 5. 4 innings of work, 4 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. And the next pitch, that's a little bit low. 2-1 the count.
Another lefty today. You're hoping the Reds brought their right-handed bat up, or left-handed lineup.
Here's the next pitch that's bounced by the mound, and that one's going to skip through into center. Litke got the glove down, but just a little bit late. It was hit to his right, and Peraza has his second hit of the day. He's had a nice spring for the Reds. Suarez will be the next batter.
Well, this is the time of game when the benches start to look empty, at least on the Angels side at this point.
Yep.
Pretty lonely down there for those extra coaches. Nobody to talk to.
Things have thinned out a little bit in that Angel dugout. There's one a little bit low. Suarez has an RBI hit. He's driven in their only run. The Reds scored a first-inning run today. They had a 1-0 lead before the Angels ever batted. The Angels have scored the last 8 unanswered runs. Angels trying to get over the 500 mark here in the Cactus League. And if the Angels can come away with the victory, it'll be the first time all spring the Angels have been over 500. Here's the pitch. Chopped down the third base side. Marte will go to second. Relay to first, and that's a double play.
No, that looked nice.
It did.
I would have never known Marte's had an issue over there. He looked as clean as could be right there.
Sherman Johnson did a good job at second base. He got rid of that ball quickly, firing to first. So just like that, 2 are gone.
Well, I got to think, if you're an infielder and you've had any issues with your defense, why wouldn't you want to be in Angel camp? I mean, you're going to learn from the best. Alfredo Griffin, Mike Gallegos is here. They've got some of the best infield instructors around. Everybody raves about Alfredo, and I just got to think, I mean, whether you make the team or not, you got to walk away from this camp with some tidbits that could possibly help you turn your game or take it to the next level.
Here's the pitch. Late swing and a miss by Joey Votto. So Litke has gotten a couple of quick strikes on him. Votto had a nice bounce back year for the Reds. The 2014 season was without question his worst in the majors. But last year, .314 batting average. Here's a pitch low and outside. Only missed, well, 4 games. 29 homers for him last year. He's in the 3rd year of a 10-year deal with a full no-trade clause.
Runs through 2023.
Here's one that's lifted in the air into left field. Making the grab on it is Quentin Berry, and the inning is over. Good inning for Litke. Gave up the leadoff hit and then gets 3 outs against the next 2 batters. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Angels have a big lead. It's 8-1 Halos on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
Leading off for your Angels, left fielder, number 37, Quentin Berry.
Number of changes for the Reds as we go to the Angels' bottom of the 6th inning. They have a new pitcher. Steven Johnson has come into the ball game, so he will take over for Jumbo Diaz. And the Angels really roughed up Diaz. There is a new first baseman, Brandon Allen. There is a new second baseman, Jordan Pacheco. A new third baseman, and that is Jermaine Curtis. They also have a new center fielder. That's Jake Cave. And a new right fielder, Tyler Holt. The reason we haven't gotten a half inning underway, the home plate umpire, Kerwin Danley, is just trotting back onto the field. I could only guess what might have been going on there as he went down the tunnel.
What could he possibly do? He just knew we were trying to get our lineups in order. He wanted to give us a break.
Yeah, there we go. That definitely was it, Tim. We'll leave it at that.
I need another inning to try to get this lineup figured out.
So the first pitch on Quentin Berry, and that one is a pitch he takes for a strike. Berry is batting for the first time today, hitting out a novice spot. Steven Johnson is a tall right-hander, and here's the next pitch, and that one is fouled back behind the plate. Watching Johnson out there, he kind of reminds you a little bit of Jared Weaver.
Yeah.
Kind of has that look and similar type delivery.
He's on that far right side part of the rubber there.
Here's the pitch, and that one is low. Slings the ball to the plate. Yeah.
Crossfire.
Yep. There's a similarity, no doubt. Johnson, a big guy, goes about 6'5". He was in the Giants organization. The Reds got him last August from San Francisco. Here's the 1-2. And it's lifted in the air, shallow in right center field. Holt is the new right fielder, and he'll make the grab in right center for the first out. There's one away. Kyle Kubica is going to bat, so he will be batting for Simmons, who is DHing today, and Drolton Simmons leaves the game going 1 for 3.
And he left the game on a very good last at bat. That was a tough at bat, got deep in the count. Didn't get the RBI, but got the big hit with runners on second base.
Here's the pitch. Cut and a miss by Kubica. The numbers on Jumbo Diaz. He worked only 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and they were all earned. And along the way, he had a strikeout. Johnson is their 4th pitcher today. And here's the next pitch. That's a little bit low. And the count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson pitched in Double-A last season, and he was strictly a reliever. Steven Johnson is from our nation's capital. Pitch in there for a called strike. Don't see a whole lot of pro baseball players coming out of Washington, D.C.
Well, there's a few from that Virginia area up in there.
Here's a fly ball lifted into left field. Rodriguez is there. He'll put that one away, and that's out number 2. Jet Vandy will be the batter. He's hitting out a Cron's spot. C.J. Cron was 1 for 3 today with a pair of RBIs.
Crony also left the game on a good note. Big 2 RBI single to right center field. Great piece of hitting. It's got to make you feel good about that at bat.
So Bandy digs in. And the first pitch, he fouls that one off. Bandy's had 4 hits, 10 at bats, so when he's had a chance to bat, he's been productive. Want to remind Angel fans that every fan matters when the Angels take on the Texas Rangers on Thursday, April the 7th at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Trout and Pujols double bobblehead. It's courtesy of Pechanga Resort and Casino while supplies last. Visit angels.com to purchase your tickets today. And there's a pitch that comes in, and Bandy is hit by the pitch.
So from our vantage point, you can see how much Johnson crossfires, or at least steps towards that hitter. He stepped towards that hitter, and that ball came out straight. It hit the hitter right in the hip. So imagine what it takes for him to get that ball over the plate. He's crossfiring pretty good right there.
So Bandy is a 2-out base runner, and here is Ji-Man Choi. Flied out to right his first time up. It's 8-1 Angels. We're in the bottom of the 6th here in Tempe. There's the pitch. That's low. It skips off the glove of the catcher Barnhart, and easily moving up to second will be Bandy on the wild pitch. So the Angels have yet another runner in scoring position as Johnson works here for the Reds. This is his 4th appearance. He has a save. He's worked 3 innings, allowing 3 hits and 2 runs. Here's the next delivery. That's low and inside.
Wow. He's really having struggles commanding that crossfire.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to do. I mean, you talk about teaching the young kids how to pitch, and they all start with drawing that line down, that tee and the line, stepping on the line. And every once in a while you get these major leaguers that can go against that conventional wisdom of teaching, but they make it work, and that's fine. I mean, if they've been able to make it work, but every once in a while when they get out of whack, I guess they could get out of whack in a big way, huh?
Johnson had some control issues last year in Double-A, but he also averaged better than a strikeout an inning. He's fallen behind 3-0 on Choi. Here's the next pitch, and he will take that one for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. So Johnson got the first 2 batters, Perry and Kmitza, but the next 2 have reached base safely. And Sherman Johnson will be the next hitter. This is his first time up, hitting out of Giovatella's spot. Giovatella was 2 for 3 today with a couple of RBIs. Sherman Johnson has had a nice spring for the Angels. Driven in 3 runs in 8 at-bats, 2 hits. And the first pitch on him is a strike. It's 0-1. Infield is back, 2 outs. Next pitch. That miss for a ball.
Looked like a strike from up here, but then looking at the replay, I could see it was down. Had a lot of movement, a lot of left to right action on his pitches.
Here's the next one, and that's lined into right center field, and that's going to fall in for another hit. Angels will get a run on it. We'll have runners at the corners. It's now a 9-1 Angels lead. So the Angels are racking up some runs of late here in Cactus League play. And we're going to see Gregorio Petit bat for Rafael Ortega.
I don't know what it is, but I just can recall playing that every time the A team was out of the lineup, it seems like that B team and C team put up all kinds of runs, and the A team would get out there the next day and we'd score 1.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Well, you got a lot of hungry guys in the lineup today.
Well, and I think that's a lot of it. All these young players, I mean, they're playing it, like it's Game 7 of the World Series in a sense. They're trying to impress the manager. Their seasons are on the line right here, and sometimes the focus is a little different. Maybe they're not so worried about working on something necessarily other than just surviving, hitting the ball.
Petit took the first pitch. It was in there for a strike. Here's the next one, and that missed inside.
Every time he lets go of the ball, I think he's going to hit a guy.
Batter, yeah. Yep. 2 balls, 1 strike. Petit's only 1 for 10 this spring, so he's trying to get some things going offensively. Here's the next pitch. He waves at that one, and he is down on strikes. The inning is over. That's how it ends. The Angels do get another run on here in the 6th. We're headed to the 7th. It's a 9-1 Angels lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
And we're
Remaining in the game at shortstop, number 80, Orioles Petit. Remaining in the game at third base, number 22, Caleb Howard. Now to number 86, Victor Alcantara.
Fans, don't forget you can host a business function or celebrate a special occasion in your own private suite at Angel Stadium. Suite rentals offer all-inclusive food and beverage packages. Visit angels.com/suites. So we have a number of changes for the Angels as we get ready to start the 7th inning. The new pitcher is Victor Alcantara. He replaces Lucas Litke, who pitched a scoreless 6th inning, allowing a hit. The Angels also have Caleb Coward playing third base. Gregorio Petit stays in the game. He is at shortstop. Nick Buss comes in, takes over in center field. Todd Cunningham, who was the center fielder, has moved to right. And Rafael Ortega has left the ball game. So here we go to inning number 7. It's 9-1 Angels. And Jordan Pacheco will be the first batter up for the Cincinnati Reds. This will be his first time up. So Alcantara's first pitch, the young right-hander, that's right in there for a called strike. This is Alcantara's 3rd appearance this spring. 3 innings, he's given up 2 hits, 2 runs, and he has picked up a victory. Alcantara has a good arm. Command has been an issue for him. Here's the next pitch. And that's on the outside part of the plate. That's a called strike, so the count quickly jumps to 0-2.
Looks like it runs a little bit as well. He comes at you. Boy, I tell you. Seeing all those elbows flying at you and that ball coming out as hard as it is and with movement.
He's pitcher number 6 of the day for the Angels, and here's the 2-strike delivery. That's fouled back by Pacheco, and the count remains at 0 balls, 2 strikes. Pacheco has played in the big leagues in the past, and he's a guy who can play a lot of positions. They have him playing second base right now. He can catch, he can play third base, he can play first base. Kind of a super utility guy. And he takes that one for a ball. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. When Steven Johnson was pitching in the bottom of the 6th inning, Angels got a run against him, and the Reds have more action in their bullpen. Get to it after the 1-2. Pacheco takes the ball. We were mentioning it's from our nation's capital, and D.C. did a little investigating, Tim. Some notable players born in Washington, D.C. Maury Wills. A couple of, a number of former Angels born in our nation's capital. Curtis Pride. Your teammate Brendan Donnelly was born in Washington, D.C. So is Darryl Miller.
Darryl Miller.
Yeah. So
Reggie Miller's brother.
Yeah.
I should say Reggie Miller's Darryl's brother.
That's right. Right. And Denard Span. And he played for the Washington Nationals. Native son. So those are just a few.
Curtis Pride, he's with Major League Baseball now.
He was.
Front office.
Saw him the other day. Here's a fly ball lifted into center field, and losing it out there is the center fielder. That's Nick Buss. He just came in the game and lost it in the sunshine. So that drops in for a bloop double. The new center fielder couldn't find it.
Well,
tough break for Alcantara.
I can imagine they're going to have the glasses out tomorrow in early defense, working on sunballs. It is tough here. Make no mistake about it. You got the high sky, but I would imagine Soch isn't real happy about that. And you're in the big leagues, at least on the big league roster camp, you should be able to play a sunball.
So here is Tyler Holt getting ready to bat. This is his first time up. He's hitting out of Jay Bruce's spot. Bruce was 0 for 2 for Cincinnati, and there's a ground ball on the left side. Nice diving stop by Petit. Throws to first base. Got him! Boy, that was a nice play right there.
That was fantastic. I didn't think he had a shot.
Wow, heck of a play. Good play by Petit to stop it. Good job by Choi over at first base. And that will be out number 1 on the play. Going over to third base is Pacheco.
Wow, that was a nice arm. I mean, getting up and firing like that, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was a major league play right there. Watching it on the replay.
Oh, he might have beat it.
So here's Adam Duvall, who's been their DH. This is his 3rd time up. He's hit the ball in the air a couple times, 0 for 2. Infield stays back. Here's the pitch. And that one taken for ball 1. It's 1-0. It's 9-1 Angels. We're in the 7th inning here in Tempe. Alcantara set for the next pitch. That was low and in, nearly hit the batter. 2 balls and no strikes. Want to remind fans, Experian, get serious about your credit. Go to Experian.com today. Angels infielders are back. The Angels will concede the runner at third, and the pitch, and that's right in there for a called strike.
Terry, I'm thinking about that ball that Nick Buss lost in the sun, and I think the part that Soch might have the talk about is that he kind of settled up on it like he was in position to make the catch. And, you know, when the ball's in the sun, you're fighting to get around, you're looking for different angles, and you just didn't see that positioning to kind of fight for that different angle and maybe using the bare hand or squatting or whatever. And that is something I know that, you know, Ron Renicky and any of the other outfield coaches down there, when they talk about playing that sun ball, you recognize that sometimes that normal position as you know, coming up to it, if it's in the sun, you might have to kind of circle around it a little bit and come at it from a different angle. And he didn't seem to be trying to do that, so I think it surprised everybody because it looked like he was on it for the most part. Yeah,
and it dropped right beside him. Here's the pitch. It's high. It skips off the glove of Bandy, and breaking for the plate and coming in is Pacheco. He'll score a run there on the wild pitch. So now it's a 9-2 Angels lead. Alcantara, wild pitches in that run. Full count on Duvall, the batter.
Looked like he tried to overthrow that slider a little bit.
See what gives on the payoff. Here it comes. It's hit hard but foul. Back to the seats on the left side. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Alcantara has the new baseball. Okay's the sign from Bandy, and again the 3-2 pitch. Got him, swung on and missed. Looked like a slider struck him out.
Yeah, he had a nice angle on the ball right there. That a lot of times he hit that. Duvall took that last swing, hit the line drive on that fastball, foul, and sometimes as a hitter you're looking for that same location, and of course it was a little bit away, and his hips were starting to fly on him a little bit, and that's how you pitch, though. You show them inside once, let them hit it foul, show them away for a strike, and hopefully they're not able to make that adjustment on you.
So here is De Jesus at the plate. Had a good day, a couple of hits there. Shortstop still in the ball game. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one back behind the plate. 0-1 the count. Tim Salmon with us here today for Angels and Reds. And your old friend Mark Gubisaw will be here tomorrow. Gooby's going to be here for about a week on our broadcast. I know Gooby's been following all the national politics, so I hope he's in baseball mode. I'm confident he will be tomorrow.
Are you on his Twitter link or something? I mean, is he twittering a lot about
I've
politics?
heard from Gooby quite a bit this offseason. Here's the pitch, and that one is blowing outside.
So I want to know why Victor and Gooby get to take all spring off, and you work right on through all spring and throughout the whole season.
Well, I am going to take the 5th on that one, Tim Salmon. Here's the pitch. This is chopped out towards short. Petit's already had one nice play. Fields that one with no trouble and hits De Jesus, his shortstop counterpart. That will end the inning. They do get a run in the inning and had one hit. So we're headed to the bottom of the 7th. It's 7th inning stretch time. And it's 9-2 Angels on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Caleb Cowart will be the first batter up for the Angels, and he is hitting out of Marte's spot. Jeffrey Marte went 1 for 2 today. We have a new pitcher, J.C. Ramirez, and also a new catcher, Joe Hudson. So a new battery for the Reds as they go with their 5th pitcher of the day. They've brought in a few other players as well. And there's a pitch that is taken by Cowart for strike 1. It's no balls, 1 strike. Here's the next pitch, and that's a base hit right down the left field side. Maybe extra bases. Cowart's going to go for 2, and the throw will be late, and he is at second with a stand-up double. So the Angels have been picking up hits all game long. Cowart gets in the act. That's just his 2nd hit this spring.
Right fielder, number 32.
Todd Cunningham, who's played the entire ball game, will be the next batter.
Well, Cowart hasn't been getting the consistent at-bats, and when he's been in there, he's only had 1 other hit into this and going in today, and so that's got to make him feel pretty good about that. Good at bat. Let the ball get a little deep, hit it down the left field line. What he needs to do more of is using that whole part of the field. And
here's a pitch that's taken by Cunningham, and that one misses ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Zach Vincic is the new shortstop, and he spells his last name V-I-N-C-E-J. Okay. Zach Vincic.
All right, Terry, this is officially when I give up.
You're going to check out?
I'm giving up on the...
Here's the pitch. That one is flowing outside. Well, you're not the first one to be beside me that's done that. Believe me. I could give you a whole laundry list of folks.
Oh, my gosh.
3-0 is the count here on Cunningham.
I've erased more times on this score sheet. I thought I knew where they were, and they weren't, and now it's a... whatever.
There's one that's in there for a strike. Steven Johnson, who pitched last inning for the Reds, gave up a hit and a run in his 1 inning. He also walked a batter, hit a batter, and struck out a batter, and he threw a wild pitch. So a little bit of everything for him last inning. There's one in there again on Cunningham. 3-2 the count. J.C. Ramirez saw some time with the Diamondbacks and the Mariners last year, and he signed with the Reds in November as a free agent, a minor league deal. And there's a pitch that he gets Cunningham on, struck him out, and that will be the first out here in the Angels' 7th inning.
Yeah, Todd Cunningham had a nice day going. Pretty good pitch right there, a little bit up in the zone.
Nick Buss is the batter. He's hitting out of Cliff Pennington's leadoff spot. Pennington had a good ball game. Buss his first time up, drives one deep in the right center field. Hold is chasing. That ball's going to hit high off the wall. It almost got out. Going into third base, being waved around is Cowart, and he will score on a ringing double off the bat of Nick Buss. He almost hit it out to right center field. Buss has really hit this spring. He is now 9 for 16, hitting well over 500.
Well, he put a jolt into that one, no doubt about it. Holy cow. Just off the top of the fence.
So the Angels now lead it 10-2.
Yeah. Doing a pretty good job of making Mike Scioscia maybe forget a little bit about that drop fly ball. No, he won't forget about that.
Yep.
But he has been swinging a nice bat, no doubt about it.
Really has. So here's Quentin Berry, who has been up once with a flyout, and he tips that one foul by the plate. Well, other than the ball game the Angels had a few days ago against the Dodgers, that came against the Dodgers here last Wednesday. This is the second biggest offensive game for the Angels this spring. That one against the Dodgers last week. The Angels scored 13. And that was that game that ended up in that 13-13 tie. There's one that's low. But you look at the last 6 games now, the Angels have scored 13 runs, 8 runs, 9 runs, 7 runs, 10 today. And there was a game here at Tempe Diablo last week where the Angels lost to the D-backs 5-3. But, boy, the offense has really picked up. And this is happening with most of the regulars not playing today. Here's the next pitch. That's fouled back behind the plate. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll check out the Ram Out of Town scoreboard. It's brought to you by the Ram 1500, available with Eco Diesel V6 that gets an estimated 29 miles per gallon highway. Visit ramtrucks.com to learn more. And the other games late innings in the Cactus League. Here's the pitch. That one check swing. Did he go around? No. So 2-2 on Berry. 7th inning. Royals lead the White Sox 7-2. Kane and Gordon with home runs for Kansas City. Dodgers have a 6-1 lead against Milwaukee in the 8th. Trace Thompson his second home run this spring for the Dodgers. Padres up on the Cubs 8-2. That's in the 8th. Indians have a 4-1 lead against the Rangers in the 7th. Yan Gomes his 3rd home run for Cleveland. And here's the 2-2 on Berry. He swings and misses, struck him out. So that's the 2nd strikeout for Ramirez. And Quinn Berry, who's been pretty quiet at the plate for the Angels, is retired. Berry this spring is just 2 for 19.
Well, that's going to make it very difficult for him to show Soch what he can do on the bases. We talked about the base stealing and being able to have a guy off the bench that can run and. But you got to get on base. You got to get on base to be able to show him what you can do.
Here's Kibitsa, and there's a pitch that's low, and it gets away from the catcher Hudson. So moving over to third will be Buss. A couple of other scores in the Cactus League. 8th inning, Seattle split squad trailing Colorado 6-4. Franklin Gutierrez, another home run for Seattle. He's had 3 this spring. And the other Seattle split squad is trailing their game against the D-backs 4-3. That's in the 7th inning. Kyle Seager with home run number 2. So where his brother Corey Seager is going to be sidelined for a few weeks. And that was a knee injury that happened against the Angels a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's not going to be great news for them. I think they were counting on him.
Yeah,
pretty good. I mean, what a young talent. Yeah.
But I guess they're thankful it wasn't anything worse. Just a couple weeks to have him down this spring as Kibitsa swings and misses a pitch. Kyle Kibitsa 0 for 1 since coming into the ball game.
You know, just as an infielder, there's such an emphasis on the lower half of the body, and you know that there's that point of, okay, you sprained your knee, but all right, does it hurt anymore? Well, no. Is it strong enough? Can you still, can you move? Can you make the plays you're supposed to be making? Do you have the range? I think it's a little bit different for an infielder with a lower leg injury than it would be for maybe an outfielder that might be able to hide it a little bit more because they don't have as many balls hit to them.
Here's the 2-2. Low. Full count. Bottom of the 7th, 10-2. Angels on top of Cincinnati. And the next pitch. That's lined into right center field, but coming over, making the grab is Holt. And that's how the inning will end. Kibitsa hit it hard, but the Angels are retired here in the bottom of the 7th. One more run, though, and the Angels did it with a pair of doubles here in the 7th inning. The 8th is next. It's 10-2 Halos on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We move to the 8th inning here in Tempe. Bright sunshine at the ballpark. And it looks like Victor Alcantara will continue. He pitched last inning and gave up a hit and a run, although it was a ball that Nick Buss lost in the bright sunshine here. Fans, here's the deal for you. $19.95 gets you Proactive plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Call 1-800-644-5944. That's 1-800-644-5944. First pitch, a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes on Yorman Rodriguez. Here's the next pitch, and that one misses. Angels infield is backed up, and the outfield is playing Rodriguez to pull. Here's the 2-0, cut and a miss. Well, all day long in the booth just to our left has been Reds general manager Walt Jocketty. Saw Angels GM Billy Epler stop in earlier during the game to exchange pleasantries. Walt Jocketty has taken the Reds to the postseason 3 times. When he was with the Cardinals, he took them to the playoffs 7 seasons out of the 13 years he was their general manager in St. Louis. But the Reds are rebuilding right now. Here's one that is inside, and that is ball 4. So Rodriguez is on. Walks on 5 pitches, and Joe Hudson, their catcher now, batting for the first time, hitting out of the 9 spot originally occupied by Barnhart. Some people are predicting the Reds are going to lose 100 games this year.
Well, you consider the division they're in.
Yep.
And how many games they'll be playing against some of those teams like St. Louis and Pittsburgh and Chicago.
That is right. Yeah.
It's very possible. Yeah, you think about an older player wanting to stick around for a rebuild. Well, the same is true for a general manager, too. I mean, you know, you work your whole life to build teams that win, and then you have those reset years, and you just wonder how many cycles you have left in you. I mean, for somebody like Walt, I mean, he's done such a great job, had a fantastic career as a general manager, but it's the economics of the game sometimes, and Houston's made it work. Chicago looks like they're making it work. Seems to be the new trend. I don't know, I suppose maybe it'd be a little fun to do it.
Yeah.
Be a part of it.
Well, last year the Reds finished in the cellar in the National League Central. They were 36 games behind the Cardinals, and that was the first time that the Reds had finished in last place in their division going back to 1983. So had a rough year last year, and you just kind of wonder if it's going to get much better for them here in 2016.
Yeah. You know, you see these teams that are rebuilding, though, you look around at their rosters and you can see where, okay, there's enough there to make it happen, or a reason to make it happen. But so with this team, you got Joey Votto and a big contract there, and Phillips, who wants to stick around. And
there's a bouncer that was hit on the left side. A nice stop by Petit, and he was able to get the ball to Sherman Johnson to get the lead runner at second base. That was another good play. Petit's been all over the place out there at shortstop since coming in.
Yeah.
So a fielder's choice. The play at second base that gets Rodriguez goes 6-4. And now getting ready to bat for the first time is Jake Cave. He will swing from the left side. Alcantara is set, and his pitch. Cave takes that one for ball 1. Jake Cave is a Rule 5 pick from the Yankees this past December, so the Reds will have to make a decision on him. Here's the next delivery on him, and he takes that one for a ball. 2-0 is the count on Cave. How is his spring going? Pretty good.
Yeah.
They've taken a long look at him, and it goes to figure he's hitting .320 with a home run, 25 at bats, 8 hits. Next pitch, he fouls that one back behind the plate. Aggressive player who missed most of the 2011 and 2012 seasons because of a knee injury. Alcantara pitching in his second inning, 6th pitcher of the day. Nate Smith started the game. We've seen Houston Street, Javi Guerra, Jose Alvarez, Lucas Litke, and Victor Alcantara, as that one is fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. Angels with 15 hits this afternoon. We have not seen the ball leave the ballpark for either team.
Almost.
Yeah.
Top of the wall.
Yeah. 10-2 Angels lead here in the 8th.
You think about those players that get picked up in a Rule 5 draft and the opportunities they're given. You hope you're going to a team that's rebuilding like this, and this is a perfect situation for a hitter like this. Show him what you could do. He's doing the job on the field. And
there he cuts it that one and misses that high pitch. Struck him out.
Jinxed him again.
So that's the second strikeout for Victor Alcantara since he came in last inning. 2 away. And here is Jermaine Curtis getting ready to bat.
It's a great opportunity for Alcantara to show Socha what he's got, and you know he's got some rough edges. He's got a lot of things he needs to clean up, but boy, he can throw it. He competes.
There's one foul back. Yeah, one of the terms you hear in this game. He's not quite the finished product.
No,
but he has some tools. Power arm, no doubt about that. He's ready. And here's the next pitch from Victor, and that one is a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you know, the Angels really got beat up this offseason as far as talking about prospects and what they have down in the farm system. But, you know, you talk to some of the guys down there and some of the people in the front office, and they seem to think that they've got some talent down there. They got some major league guys. Now, are they Mike Trouts? They think they're guys that can definitely help and make a difference at the major league level for this Angels team in the years to come. Maybe not a full cupboard, but there's some pieces down there, and, you know, this is one of them.
2 balls and 1 strike. Alcantara's next pitch, and that's right in there for a called strike. So count level, it's 2-2. Little or no breeze to speak of here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. The attendance today, 5,925, 59-25. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him, struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts ends the inning. So that's probably it for Alcantara today. Nice job for him and his 2 innings of work. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. It's 10-2 Angels on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's being brought to you by our friends at Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day. Visit them at rotolo.com. That's rotolo.com. So there's a new pitcher in the ball game for the Cincinnati Reds, and they will use their 6th of the day. Diane Diaz will take over. Here's the right-hander's first delivery as Jet Bandy bets, and that one is in there for a strike. J.C. Ramirez worked an inning, allowed a pair of doubles and a run. He also threw a wild pitch and struck out a pair. Here's the next delivery. Grounded foul right over by the Reds' third base dugout. There's also a new outfielder in left, and that is Scott Schebler, who has taken over. Schebler played a little bit for the Dodgers last year. 2 strikes is the count on Bandy. And here's the next pitch. That's grounded on the third base side. It skips off the glove of the third baseman, but recovering is Curtis, and he still has time to get Bandy at first base, 1 away. G-Man Choi will be the next batter. Have you followed G-Man Choi a little bit this spring, the South Korean?
Yeah, a little bit. Just the notes that we all get. This is the first opportunity I've had to see him swing, and outside of his first at bat when he got jammed and with the runner on third, he's had some pretty good passes of the ball.
There's a pitch a little bit low. Yeah, he's looked pretty good, and he's done a good job at first base. He's trying to win a spot off the bench.
Well, I was very intrigued with the whole idea that he's trying to switch hit and get the right-handed swing going. And when you're a natural lefty and you get most of your bats from the left side, to be trying to do that this late in your career, and they so should confirm today that kind of put a kibosh on that right now.
Right. And in the case of Choi, he was just thinking that it would aid him from a more versatile type of standpoint, a little bit more versatility, being a switch hitter. But the Angels have told him they just want him to bat left-handed now, and that will be the way it goes in the Angels system.
That's a hard thing to do. I mean, unless you're an everyday player where you're getting those consistent at-bats, maybe on both sides. But if you're a bench guy and you haven't had a right-handed at bat in 2 months, and you're out there taking your swings every day in batting practice or down in the cage, I mean, that's a lot of work and effort to be putting into something that you might only get a handful of bats on one side of the plate. And if it doesn't go well, they're not going to put you in there in those situations.
Here's another one that's lifted foul down the left side, and that will drop out of the reach of the left fielder, Schebler, the new left fielder. So the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. After the ball game, Tim will be downstairs. He's going to be heading down momentarily. And today, I guess you're going to visit on the post game with Ron Renicky.
Rags, yeah. Ron Renicky back in the red.
Yep.
Had a opportunity to go manage the Brewers and did a good job, I thought. But there's only certain things you can control as a manager, and I always hate to hear a manager get the blame for a team losing. It's the players need to take that responsibility, but it's the day and age of professional sports.
Sure.
I mean, once in a while it's the manager's fault, sure, but most of the time, teams are built to win. I mean, the rosters are put together in the winter, and those guys, if they stay healthy and do what they're capable of doing, I mean, the front office, and for the most part, feels like they have the right people in the right situations. But the Milwaukee situation kind of got away from the last year or so. And
there's Choi cutting at that pitch, and that one took him down to a knee chasing it, struck him out. So a couple of outs recorded here by Diaz. Yeah, Ron Renicky will see the Angels take on his old club, the Milwaukee Brewers, this season. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of things going through his head this year when the Angels go to Milwaukee in early May.
Good thing there's a roof on that stadium nowadays.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, think about the Angels. I mean, it's the Angels' game. They got, between Ron Renicky and Buddy Black, you have 2 ex-managers at the beck and call of Mike Scioscia. I mean, what a great situation for this organization right now to have so many talented, coaches around them. Even Gary DiSarcina, I mean, he's somebody that probably could deserve a look at a manager's spot. I mean, he won Manager of the Year, and I believe it was that AAA year he had in Pawtucket, and a lot of good coaches around Mike Scioscia right now, much like they were back in the early 2000s when we won the World Championship.
There's a pitch that's in there for a strike on Sherman Johnson. The count on him 1-2. Johnson's had an RBI hit so far today. His only time up. 2 outs. Angels batting here in the bottom of the 8th, up 10-2, and the next pitch from Diaz, that's grounded right to the first baseman. Stumbling but stopping it is Allen. He'll solo to the bag, and that will end the inning. When we get back, we'll have some news on Jared Weaver, who visited a specialist today, a spine specialist, and also have a little bit more on C.J. Wilson. We are headed to the 9th inning here in Tempe. The Angels have a 10-2 lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
First baseman, number 51, Brandon Allen.
Here we go to the top of the 9th inning. The Angels will bring in a new pitcher, and it's Yunieski Maya, who will be pitcher number 7 of the day for the Angels. He replaces Alcantara, who worked the last 2 innings. And along the way, Victor gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 3. So Maya will take over. Cuban-born pitcher who we've seen a few times for the Angels here in the Cactus League. He's had 3 scoreless appearances so far, giving up just 2 hits. No runs in 5 innings of work. No walks, 6 strikeouts. He's pitched in the big leagues in the past. Was in Korea last year, South Korea. And the pitch on Brandon Allen, he takes that one for a strike. Allen batting for the first time in the ball game, hitting out of Joey Votto's spot. Left-handed hitting first baseman. Here's the next pitch. This is chopped softly on the right side. Should be an easy play for Sherman Johnson. He'll throw out Allen, and that's the first out. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Terry Smith, Tim Salmon. Our producer engineer is Darren Chan. And the batter now is Pacheco. And that pitch is right in there for a strike. Today's game being brought to you by In and Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. Pacheco has doubled and scored. That was the ball that Nick Buss lost in center field. Lost in the sunshine. Well, we mentioned some news on Jared Weaver. He met with a spine specialist earlier today. And all the tests that were taken on Weaver today turned out normal. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit low. The doctor confirmed mild degenerative changes in the cervical spine from the most recent MRI. And for Weaver, all throwing will continue as tolerated, and he'll continue to focus on adding flexibility and strength. The pitch lined into left field. That's going to fall in for a one-out hit. Getting to it is Berry. He's going to fire it to second base. Runner breaking there. The throw going to be a little bit high. So Pacheco has his second double since coming into the ballgame. One-out double here in the ninth. Also today, some news on C.J. Wilson. And C.J. is still feeling some effects of shoulder inflammation. And he, for the time being, will discontinue his mound progression and focus on a throwing program to build up arm strength. So that's definitely a setback for Wilson right now. He will just look to strengthen that left shoulder with no action on the mound. So that is not good news on the Angels' left-hander. Here's Holt at the plate, and that one is low and outside. Certainly looking very likely that C.J. Wilson will begin the year on the disabled list, and we'll see if that might be a situation for Jared Weaver or not. Weaver in a little bit better situation, you would have to say, right now than C.J. Wilson here on the 14th of March. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tim Salmon is headed downstairs. We'll have a visit with Tim and Angels third base coach Ron Renicky right after the ball game. Counts 3 balls and 1 strike on Holt. Angels with an 8-run lead here in the ninth, 10-2, and there's a pitch in there for a strike. Holt thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's strike 2, and now it's a full count. So Holt is set, awaiting the pitch here from Maya. Holt played for the Indians and the Reds last season. Limited action in the majors, and now time is called as Holt asked for time from the home plate umpire Kerwin Danley. Angels will be back in action here tomorrow as the Halos will wrap up this little homestand at Tempe Diablo Stadium, taking on the Mariners. Here's the 3-2. Got him swinging. Chased a fastball. Struck him out. 1 more out to go. That was a good job by Maya. He battled back. He was behind 3 balls and a strike. Comes back to strike out Holt. Angels have done a good job pitching-wise here today. And now just 1 out away from wrapping this one up. Adam Duvall has been in the game all day long as the DH gets ready for his 4th at bat. He's 0 for 3. Maya's pitch. That's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Maya's major league action in the past coming with the Washington Nationals. That's the team he signed with after he fled Cuba. And here's the next delivery. This is popped up, and it should be the end of the ball game on the first base side near the foul line. Making the grab on that one is G-Man Choi, and that will do it. Maya ends up retiring 3 out of the 4 that he faces and pitches a scoreless 9th. Angels come away with the victory today as they beat the Reds by the final score of 10-2. So the Angels, for the first time this spring, have gotten over the 500 mark. 7-6-1, the record in the Cactus League. The Reds are now 6-8-1. We'll send things down shortly to Tim Salmon as he will visit again with Angels third base coach Ron Renicky. Another big offensive day for the Halos. 10 runs on 15 hits today. The Angels did that against the 6 Reds pitchers that saw action here in today's ball game. And Angels will get ready to send Andrew Heaney to the mound tomorrow as the Angels will take on the Seattle Mariners. We're going to take you down to the field over on the first base side. Tim Salmon is standing by with Angels third base coach Ron Renicky.
Thank you, Terry. Yes, I'm standing here with Ron Renicky, former Angel third base coach when I played. It's great to see you back in the red uniform. Tell me about it. I mean, you kind of got the band back with Buddy Black. How's it feel to be back in red?
Yeah, it's really nice. Nice seeing all the familiar faces and the coaching staff, that guys that I'm familiar with. And that was only a couple of years ago that you were playing, wasn't it? So it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, 10 years goes by pretty quick. But, well, it's spring training for the players, but we've talked many times about how it's very much spring training for the coaches. And a classic example today, a lot of action plays on. You're very busy down there. What does it take for you to get back into playing shape, so to speak?
Yeah, well, I'm not locked in yet, so this is great. All the signs I'm getting from Mike and the different things and knowing our personnel and all that helps me do my job better. You know how much fun I had with you guys when we were scoring a lot of runs every game and there's all kinds of action going on, and that makes it really fun for a third base coach.
Yeah. How many sets of signs do you have right now? Because I know back in the day you had like 5 sets for every guy had their own set of signs.
I had a few back then, so I don't know. I don't know if my mind can remember as much as I used to, so I slowed it down a little bit. But it's fun. It took a while. Last year I joined the Dodgers for 2 months. I hadn't been there for 10 years again at third base, and it took me a little bit to get used to that. So this spring training is really good for me.
Yeah, 10 years. You're a little rusty then, huh? So let me ask you, you're back in Angel camp, getting used to the personnel. What has impressed you maybe the most about this camp? Is there any particular part of the game, the defense, the offense, the pitching staff, the starting pitching? Is there some part of this Angel staff or team that's impressing you at this point?
Well, right now, like you said, I'm liking all the action that we're creating offensively. You know, I've been with the team the last few years, last 5 years, that at the beginning we scored a lot of runs, we ran a lot, and then all of a sudden it became this, we kind of wait and see wait for the home run, and as a third base coach, that's not what you want to do. So it's nice with all the action. The young guys have impressed us. I know they're all fighting for a job, and so anytime you see guys that can run and guys that can hit and run and they can bunt, you got a lot of chance to score runs. It's very difficult to score runs anymore. The bullpens are better, and anytime you can grind out a run, which we used to do when your crew was here, you've got a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we see a lot more of that this year. And well, Ron, it's great to see you back in the red. Looking forward to having a great year. Hopefully you get a rotator cuff surgery at the end of the year, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, well, hey, Terry, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Tim Salmon, always great to hear from him, and certainly from Ron Renicky as well. The Angels come away with the victory as they beat the Cincinnati Reds here today by the final of 10-2. Now, for those of you watching on TV, Tim, along with Alex Curry, will have a lot more post-game analysis on Angels Live, and we'll have some more for you from Tempe Diablo Stadium on the radio side as well. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.